Now our mics are live. We're online on YouTube. Sending data to Twitch. I can throw on chat.
Ooh.
Dylan told us about those Saints, fat guy, and we took the Bears.
Oh, Dylan, I've been taking them most of the year, pal. You know how hard it is to cover every game? You know how hard it is? Hey, Mickey, how you doing? Hey, Dylan, remember you emailed to switch to Buffalo? How'd that work out?
What's going on, Mickey? How you doing tonight?
Love the competition, though, Dylan. So I'm just finishing my chicken. I'm almost done. Oh, I think they're good. I think Teddy Bridgewater is the best backup. I said that. And he's actually one of the better starters, perhaps.
Mickey 6-6 this week.
Okay, I'll give you a good question, Dylan. If the Saints were minus 12 on the road in Chicago, would you take them?
Oh, Dylan's 8-4 this week.
Well, that's pretty good.
Dylan asked if you know how good the Saints are, and he also said, "You're lucky I've doubled my dosage of marijuana this year. I would be at the top of the list." Dylan talking trash to Mickey Hill. I don't know. Let's check the... Let's see the overall leaderboard. Mickey Hill's second.
I don't know. Second's pretty good. Pretty good.
Dylan's moving up. He's above 50% now.
Oh, there you go. No, yeah, he's above 50.
Only 7 games back of Mickey Hill.
How many games back is Dylan from us? Because if I count him just in terms of Saints games that we'll get wrong, then maybe he'll catch us by the end of the year.
Yeah. He could surpass us if they...
What's wrong with 8-4, man? That's like 8-4 is big money week, man.
8-4 is awesome.
What are we 7-5?
Yeah.
It will be 8-5 probably at the end of this game, but yeah, that tends to happen.
Dylan's on the Cowboys with us today. Let's see where Mickey is.
Wook Dog?
All 3 of us are on. Wook Dog's on Philly.
Wook Dog's got Philly. He's 5-7 though.
Wook Dog overall, let's see. He's around 500. Yeah,
He's around the same as you.
He's
one game behind.
You.
57% is really good.
Yeah, it's very good.
I'm tied with my friend Stu. What did he take? Oh, he took Dallas too. Wook Dog is like the Falcons' biggest disappointment. 50's like 50-50. It's not that bad. There's plenty of season left. The Falcons, on the other hand, they don't have much of a season left.
I'll give you this. Wook Dog had the highest expectations.
Yes, he was a favorite.
Wook Dog was the favorite.
He was the favorite. Favorites don't always win, I'm sure you noticed by some of the betting in his channel.
Yeah. It was an impressive win for the Saints. The really nice thing about the Saints is that Trubisky coming back, it barely changed the line, but a lot of the public jumped on Chicago once they found out Trubisky was coming back.
Are they the best team? I don't know. They're up there. They're
The Saints?
yeah. I actually made an argument. Me and Big Rye argued about who had the best defense. I think the Saints have the best defense, even though that sounds weird.
And I still think it's the Patriots. You know what's crazy about the Saints is they have 2 quarterbacks that can win the Super Bowl.
You lost, Big Rye. Dallas Goddard touchdown.
That was fine.
Big Rye lost his fantasy.
I'm more concerned about...
Oh my god. This is the funniest thing I've ever seen.
What?
Okay, Dylan emailed me once last year and told me after the week was over I would be in the corner crying and fisting my rear. Yes, apparently they were. This is fantastic. I love it.
This is great. Sorry I'm clanging all these dishes. Be able to focus on the game pretty fast.
Usually I just lock Big Rye in a cage and would push applesauce through it.
Mm-hmm. I actually like having the chat bigger. Way better.
Yeah, so you can see less of my fat head.
I should probably make the leaderboard more.
I will be number 1 by the end of the year. I like that. You certainly, Dylan, he certainly doesn't have a lack of confidence, let's be honest. Hey, Glock, how you doing?
Dylan, I got a question for you. Would you rather have
Yes,
the Saints
I
win
know
the
this is
Super Bowl,
going, yes.
or would you rather win the picks against the spread contest? That's what I gotta know.
Yeah, yes, Mickey. And Dylan, it's 7 games if you do it, good for you. I'd be happy for you to win this contest. Saints, of course. Hey, Wook Dog, there he is. There, Wook Dog. Oh no, here we go. Glock Lesnar. Breeze is a system QB.
Wow.
Oh, this isn't going to go well in the chat room here.
Glock needs the Eagles to cover the over.
Wook Dog, Mickey Hill, I think you guys should open up a bag. There's going to be some arguing, I think, in the chat coming up here.
This is good.
Oh, Mickey Hill just dumped gas all over this one.
Oh, and the Saints are overrated.
Saints are overrated. Okay.
And shout out to Wook Dog. I know we said hi, but always.
Whoa. There is some chatter going on in here. I'm liking this. This is fun. Mr. Wook Dog, I need to buy you a Falcons hat, you disappointing twink. What's disappointing about a twink, Dylan?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'd like to know. Big Rye.
Finally, you hit a chord with me.
All right, that's the best looking cheerleader I've seen, I think, ever.
I'm going to start watching this game, but this chat is too good.
It is too good.
Somehow this chat is better than this game that already has 3 touchdowns in the first 10.5 minutes. Jimmy G won 3 games. People said Brady is a system quarterback. Why doesn't anyone say that for Breeze?
Wook Dog, Dylan, before he got here, was saying that he was disappointed that you weren't in first. He thought you were disappointing because you're not in first, and we stuck up for you because we don't think you're doing that badly.
No, he said that you were the biggest disappointment this year.
Yes.
Well, you had the highest
Like, you really have to go verbatim on that, Big Rye? Jeez.
I do. I have to tell him what he said.
I don't know. My favorite's Montana, I'll be honest. I think Rodgers is more skilled than any of those guys, but Rodgers hasn't won enough to warrant that. I still think it's Montana, but I think Brady's probably 2.
Best all time or second most overrated?
Best all time. I mean, I think it's hard to go against Brady's pedigree.
It's pretty straightforward. You either win or you lose, and he's done a lot more winning than losing.
Yeah.
I'd like to see actually all the quarterbacks win-loss.
But then that's not always a fair thing. Joe Thomas is one of the best left tackles ever.
Yeah.
He's never played in a playoff game.
Yeah, but quarterbacks have a little more
influence,
little more stock to winning.
Yes, absolutely, right. They get
tackle.
Charged, they get awarded, and I guess burdened by wins and losses.
Yeah.
Oh, this chat is amazing. I'm really liking this. Yeah, you did have the worst defense I've ever seen was the Saints, 5 years ago?
So Breeze has 5,000-yard passing seasons.
Yeah.
Won Super Bowl for all of those stats. He's always led the league in completion percentage, empty stats. Yes, 1 Super Bowl despite getting robbed 2 years in a row. You mean when Breeze choked in overtime?
I don't know if he led the league in completion percentage. I think Kurt Warner did, near the end of his career, and I think Rodgers has a higher one if I were to guess. But
we'd have to look it up.
We'd have to look it up.
Remember the 3 years in a row he got them to 7-9 with no defense? Yeah.
They didn't have a defense. Elliott is tearing up the Eagles right now.
No, I mean when he should have never been in overtime. If he's too great, he would have won it. That's the worst argument I ever heard. Breeze really has done a lot with shit defenses.
Yeah, up until these last 2 years, their defenses have been very bad. This year, I actually think they have the best defense in the league right now. I really do.
They're playing the style that you and I like relying on defense, relying on running the ball.
Yeah. Defenses get screwed with penalties just incessantly, it feels like this year.
Dylan agrees that they got the best defense.
I don't know if the Niners' defense is way better. I mean,
all 4 of those teams though are in the ring: the Saints, the Bills, the Niners, the Pats.
Yeah, 49ers front 7 is very good. I'm gonna give you that. I know they're good. That's because they've spent so many high first round picks on them. They're great. I've seen it. I'm not a big fan of the secondary of the 49ers. I think I probably have the most confidence though in New England just because they're the best coached team. They just are. And I'm not saying I like New England. It's just, I don't know. It's pretty obvious to me. Akilo Witherspoon, is that what you're talking about?
I'm worried about the Saints' other secondary players, though.
There's some bad ones.
Yeah.
Eli Apple, Ken Crawley, if he's even playing.
Glock has those guys in front.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I mean, and I'm not sure Buffalo's defense is that great either. None of these defenses are amazing. Yeah.
Check it out, Mickey.
Check Mickey Hill. That's a good point. The problem is, though, a lot of that is opponent dependent too.
That is a good question. Did Eli Apple get hurt today?
I don't know. I didn't see. Though you had that game on your screen.
Yeah, I don't know if he got hurt. I think maybe you just didn't mention him when talking about the secondary.
You're going to bet anyone in this chat that the Saints will win the Super Bowl $1,000. I would take that bet right now, just so you know. I don't know how we would arrange that, but I would instantly take that. But we'll just do bad bragging rights then.
Maybe I can pull up this.
Oh, nothing's guaranteed in football. Basketball is a bit more foreseeable, a bit more forecastable. In football, they're just one-off games. Like, realistically, anything can happen. Miami was up against the Bills for, the majority of the game today? It didn't end that way, but it could have. Anything can happen. Realistically, anything can happen. Yeah, I agree with that. The ball is shaped in a way that it's supposed to be that way. In England they call it hand egg, and I don't blame them. Is that the most likely? It seems like it. Yeah, I could say it's the most likely. Elliott is playing like a god. Holy. 14-7 Dallas. Glock, I don't know if I agree with the DVOA stuff from Football Outsiders. I find that a lot of the guys that do that type of research are rarely good at forecasting, at predicting the future. Their data, they've yet to use data in a way that's been convincing to me as far as predictions go. So I feel like the market is the best way to do it. So does Big Rye. There's a lot of interesting books. What a Sack here. Is that Barnett? Yeah, it is Barnett. What a job. Patriots at 4. That's interesting. I prefer not using any handicapping methods if I can avoid it. That's how we used to do it. Like how I started is I came up with like an algorithm that, it did predict the Super Bowl winner fortuitously that year. So, because I lost a lot of money gambling on sports up until, and then I took a really serious look at how can I not lose money because I liked it so much. And I was really successful in my first year, and then Big Rye came along and we kind of expounded on that. But we're trending away from handicapping. We prefer market movements and things of that nature because we think handicapping is going to get more difficult because we all use the same information. We all do, right? So then it depends what kind of conclusions we're drawing from the same information, and the margins are always going to get thinner. Information gets better. And realistically, all the work that good handicappers do is reflected in the market anyways. So rather than just take my one idea, I can kind of ascertain what good handicappers are doing as a whole while paying a small premium. Would that be the best way of describing it, Big Rye?
Way better than I could say it.
I guess that's why they keep me around. Although he did have to feed me a whole chicken pretty much just now.
To be fair, you cooked it.
I put it in the oven? No, you put it in the oven. I checked on it twice, though.
You checked on it twice, prepared the meal, and then you're very eloquent in your answer.
That was a good answer, actually.
Glock, what's your top 5?
Yeah, let's see it. Let's get everyone's power rankings in here.
The best thing to do is just to take collective data, like to get everybody in the chat to list out what defenses they like, and we can rank them from there, and that's going to be better than anything any of us can do individually.
It is kind of like, it's a little bit, it's less satisfying being the bird on the alligator's back. It just kind of lives there, but it's what's more successful. We care about winning the most, I would say. So, yeah, the Ravens are clock burners. Excellent time of possession. And there's another team you guys are forgetting for me. A big team for me is the Indianapolis Colts. I actually think they're good.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds about right, Mickey. I think they have number 1 run D, though, do they not? Look at the size of these linemen, man.
Some big boys.
I know.
Also, the sample size for any of these defenses right now is just so small. They've played, 6 games? Like, I know you don't have a lot to go off of, but...
Saints have a number 1 run defense. Mickey Hill confirmed.
What's going on, ITYM? Thanks for joining the chat. His unpopular opinion is that Michael Thomas is the best receiver in the league, followed closely by DeAndre Hopkins. I don't think that's that unpopular.
I don't think so. I think I'm okay with that.
Dylan Toddfield said, it doesn't matter. Look at the opponent's points. Brock Lesnar's 1-5 is Pats, Packers, Niners, Saints, Vikings. Yeah, no one mentioned the Packers yet. That Packers defense has been good as well as the Vikings.
They haven't been like the Packers could have easily lost today against the Raiders. Like it became a blowout, but the Raiders were kind of, I don't know, the way that game was going. I felt like the Raiders kind of had the advantage up until a very costly play, which we were none too happy about by Derek Carr.
Well, I was unhappy with the play call. It's there's 1:55 left, second down. They have one timeout left. You can take that clock down or at least burn their timeouts because Aaron Rodgers is getting the ball back. Which quarterback are you scared of in the last 2 minutes of
him? It's always him.
You know, there's a handful of guys, and Rodgers is arguably the best.
Yeah, I know. I'm not denying that, but I'm just saying like the Raiders were in that game. They were in that game. So I have a lot of I like the Raiders. I'll be honest. Obviously, I'm a Browns fan, but I like the Raiders too, and I just feel like the Raiders are exceeding expectations with how they're playing right now. Because they're a bad roster. Like, let's be real, they're not a good roster.
Their defense is still in development, but the offense, I think, is overperformed compared to how they did last year.
Yes, but I think they underperformed last year. So
they majorly underperformed last year.
Yes.
So I think their
making
offense
sure we're agreeing.
I think their offense is on pace for what we expected last year.
Yes.
And the defense is still still have holes.
They have lots of holes on defense. It's bad.
I really wish Abrams was still playing. Is it Abrams or Abraham?
Jonathan Abrams.
Jonathan Abrams.
You're thinking of John Abraham.
Yeah.
Former
Atlanta Falcon.
Maybe Hall of Fame player, John Abraham? That's a good question. Should John Mickey Hill would be best versed in this because Mickey Hill's seen John Abraham's career the entire way. Mickey Hill, do you think that John Abraham is a Hall of Fame player?
The clock says Rodgers has a defense that can make timely plays. He doesn't need too much help. That's a dangerous combination this year. I kind of mentioned during the game that I think they're going to get eaten up by the top teams. I don't quite put them up there, and it's weird to say when the Packers might have a top 5 defense, and on top of that they have Aaron Rodgers. Like, how can you not like that combination? The run game's going well too. Aaron Jones seems like the real deal. I like Jamal Williams as well. I'd be fine if Jamal Williams was a starter.
Well, Jones is a better runner, but I think it's better for the Packers to have Williams out, considering the pass blocking upside.
But Jones has been pretty good. Like, it's hard to argue. The catch he made today after the drop he made last week, it made up for that drop.
133.5 sacks for John Abraham.
That's pretty damn good.
That's pretty good, man. I don't know.
Last year, 2014, so he's Hall of Fame eligible now. It's 5 years.
And he only played one game there. I'm not saying first ballot or anything, but some of these seasons are very good.
That many sacks, you're always going to be in the conversation.
Yeah, I think you have to be, right?
Can you pull up overall sack leaders of all time? I want to see where that stacks up.
I bet you it's like 4th or 5th, I'm going to say.
If it's that high, he's going to get in.
Or maybe 6 or 7.
Guy, what do you think about the Vikings?
Oh, no, it's probably a bit down there.
We were just talking about the Vikings before we got on stream.
We like them.
Because the fat guy has always been high on Cousins, and then he kind of gave up on him a couple weeks ago, and then then he's rattled off. He kind of hit rock bottom, you could say.
I was a little annoyed. John Abraham's 13th in sacks, by the way.
Impressive. In how many games?
A lot less. His sacks per game it seems similar to everybody's.
Yeah, there's only, 2 guys there I can see with less games and more sacks?
Yeah.
That's
where DeMarcus Ware. It's hard to see DeMarcus Ware as a Hall of Famer, though. You know what I mean? I don't know why.
I would say not. The guy, he's 8th all time in 178 games.
Yeah, but is Ware a Hall of Famer?
He might have the most sacks per games there, like the best rate.
Yeah.
When you calculate it out. He's played 100 less games than, who's that, Bruce Smith?
Yes.
And he's how many sacks less?
What is that? 61 and a half?
Yeah.
That's weird. But who knows if these guys near the end. Richard Dent is, I think, a first ballot Hall of Famer, and he has less production. He was on Super Bowl winning teams, though. Oh, well, no. DeMarcus Ware is on a Super Bowl winning team. Broncos.
Oh, yeah.
I think he is. I think DeMarcus Ware is a Hall of Famer. I just never thought of it. And Chris Dolman, I don't even remember. I don't know why we're having this conversation, but it was just interesting to me. He came from a name snafu by Big Rye.
Glock's asking us for our top 5 running backs in the NFL.
Running backs? I think Elliott's one for me. I would prefer having Elliott over everyone. Elliott's the best pass blocker in the league, by the way, guys. Ooh, Mickey doesn't even have the Saints in the top 5.
For what, defenses?
I don't know if that's
Niners,
defenses
Panthers,
or overall.
Chiefs, Vikings.
Yeah.
I have a tough time. That's got to be overall. I'm not putting the Chiefs defense in the
Oh,
top
yeah,
5
Chiefs
for anything.
defense is in the top 5. There's no way. Mickey Hill's got Saquon.
Glock said he wanted to put the Chiefs in his top 5. That's got to be overall. You guys cannot be talking about defenses right now.
Yeah, overall. Yeah. Panthers is an interesting one.
Yeah, Mickey's doubled down saying overall.
Christian McCaffrey, then healthy Saquon. I find McCaffrey's stamina to be impressive, but when I come to the guy I want to win my game, I'm taking Elliott all day. Best pass pro, relatively strong in every facet.
They're throwing out Kamara, Saquon Barkley, Clinton McCaffrey.
Oh, Mickey Hill's overall of the Panthers' third is with Kyle Allen at QB, so I'm assuming that means he has him higher than Cam Newton, like you and I do.
Yeah, we had that talk a few days ago, or it might have been last week. If when Newton's back healthy, who plays?
To me, it's crazy to go away from Kyle Allen. How could you?
It's crazy, but Cam Newton's been the face of that franchise.
Well, that's too bad. Change it, regime change, and it's a lot cheaper.
That's
Can't
true.
wait.
And then we were looking at teams that Cam Newton would be a good fit on.
Yeah,
I
we
can't remember who
were.
we sat on.
I think Jacksonville.
I'd rather have Minshew.
Yeah. Yeah.
He played so well today, and it's like he's only getting better, I feel.
Yeah, and it's cheap. He's cheap, too. That's the other thing. What about Miami?
Yeah, but they're too bad. Like, Cam Newton's not going to turn that team around in the next 3-4 years.
Yeah, I know. 3rd and 1. I completely agree.
Cincinnati's not good enough. Pittsburgh, I think I'd rather have Rudolph.
Oh, gee. Tony Pollard. Oh, man.
Maybe it was Tennessee.
Oh, man. It was Tennessee. We said Tennessee. That would be the one.
And then Tannehill played well enough today. Denver's a team that could use him. That's where we sat, is Denver.
Yeah, Denver.
He'd be a big upgrade on Flacco.
Tony Pollard just made one of the better runs I've seen in the last little while. Look at this play, man.
Washington, Chicago. Tampa Bay. It's strange, huh? Cam Newton's actually quite down there as far as, if I was to rate quarterbacks, he'd be like 26.
I was going to say 25, like off the hip. I have big hips. Yeah, I think so too, Mickey. I just don't... What would you ask for him? Because you have to pay him an enormous salary. You trade him for Mariota and a 4th-round pick. Like, yeah, it is Brock Osweiler stuff. It totally is.
Glock still wants Cam over... I'm having a tough time keeping up with chat today. Holy, you guys!
Well, there's some good stuff in there.
You guys are on fire.
14-7, Dallas is up, and they have the ball in the opposing end on the 24-yard line. 2nd and 3. This looks like an offside on Philly, but I can't tell. What a catch!
But it's going to be offensive PI.
It's going to be offensive PI on Amari Cooper, but at least we think. It's a lot more difficult to
Cooper pushed off with both
to
hands
understand
make that
penalties these last few weeks.
Who did Tennessee play today?
Tennessee beat the LA Chargers.
The Tennessee Chargers games, the end of the game was like laughable, all the different calls.
Yeah.
Like they didn't even know what they were doing.
What's that?
Washing machine. So Cam greater than Allen. When Saints bring back Breeze, they'll be top 5. Dylan said, holy shit, this Glock dude doesn't even have Kamara in top 5, and he's the number 14 overall in the NFL. I'm fine with having Kamara outside of your top 5.
I don't know if I'd put Kamara in my top 5 running backs.
I don't think it's that crazy. I think to go off the NFL top 100 is not the best way to go, Dylan.
Yeah.
But for people to leave him out of the top 5, I think a lot of people would have issue. I think if you took if you did 1 million people and you asked them, Kamara probably ends up in the top 5.
But you got to remember, a lot of people judge their running backs on how many fantasy points they get.
Yeah.
And that's something Big Ryan and I couldn't care less about.
Yeah. Glock doesn't like Kyle Allen because he fumbles the ball every time he touches it.
Well, not enough, apparently. He's undefeated.
ITYM said he couldn't believe they wouldn't give it to Zeke on 3rd and 1.
Yeah, I commented on that one. Here we go.
Dylan's upset that Mickey thinks that the Saints will be in the top 5 once Breeze gets back because they're 5-0 with Teddy.
Yeah, I mean, but it's going. I hate doing the results thing. You can play great games and lose all of them really. You can be a strong team and just lose. It's the probabilities work that way. It's unfortunate, but see, so the Giants when they went 8-8 and they made the playoffs and beat the Patriots and the undefeated Patriots in the Super Bowl. Are the Giants really a bit stronger team than that Patriots team? I'm not going to say the answer is obviously no, but anything can happen in a one sample. Anything can happen. This is exactly what I said too about Cam. That Mickey said is Cam will be a huge distraction if they bench him. Yeah.
So that's I think even more reason to trade him. The Kamara and CMC have tremendous balance.
Yep.
For such small guys, they both run with quite a lot of power.
Yeah, and Derrick Henry, we're not talking about him. Derrick Henry's up there for me too.
Yeah.
I get that Derrick Henry lose a lot in the pass game, but what you gain in that is the floor for his runs is really high. Like, it's hard for him not to get a 3-yard run. Yeah, he doesn't bust as much as the other guys, but that's a good way to grind other teams down. It really is.
And I think Le'Veon Bell is
Bell's your favorite. Yeah.
But it's tough to, like, running back, you're so dependent on so many other things that it's hard to
even
crown a guy.
Offensive philosophy is a big thing. Oh, yeah.
That was a really good read by Prescott. There was a blitz there, and he threw at the blitz, which is always suggested.
So this is setting up what looks to be an Ezekiel Elliott touchdown.
I think I'm pretty on track with what Glock said. He said when the Panthers lose, they're going to go back to Cam. And then Mickey Hill thinks that Carolina needs to trade him to the Titans.
Mickey Hill, Cam would burn that franchise down just to be the king of the ashes rather than sit quietly while I agree. We're probably going to get to see that, though. I mean, how can he argue with success?
Yeah.
And the team's obviously buying in.
Is CMC the best white skill position player ever?
That's a great question. Well, I don't know. I don't know where you put Wade Corbett in all of this. I think he is.
I couldn't.
I'm going way back in the Rolodex. Mickey's going to be able to do the 70s and 80s better than I can.
Kamara's not a bell cow, so I'd prefer the other guys.
Who's not a bell cow?
Kamara.
Yeah, I agree.
ITYM says, speaking of running backs, the Chargers are effing up by starting Gordon over Eckler, ruining their offense.
I don't know if it's ruining. Eckler's got
It cost them today.
Yeah. Well, his ball security sucked.
It's so result-based, right? The Kirk Cousins is about to beat Breeze in the playoffs. It could happen. Cam would burn that franchise down. You already went through that one.
Born in the year 2000. You're a young one then.
I've hated Cam in the past, but to be honest, I feel he is so hated for what reason? Cam's hated because of his body language and just general attitude.
Not diving on that fumble in the Super Bowl did not do him any favors. That's a big deal, man. I'm sorry. For me, it was bootleg, touchdown pass to Blake Jarwin. Nice play, Cowboys.
That puts the Cowboys up 13, barring an extra point.
Jerry Jones looks happy in the box. Yeah.
He can skip the Cialis tonight.
We were talking about the best white skill position player, Mickey. I said you'd do better in the 70s and 80s than I would. Big Ryan and I are 87 babies.
Yeah, I was really down on CMC when he got drafted. I thought he was going to be terrible. Who did I compare him to? What's that movie called?
What?
The movie where there's that soldier, but he only runs around. He doesn't shoot.
Forrest Gump?
No. What's that movie called?
It's a soldier? What?
Yeah, it's like a movie about the army. A soldier. The guy runs around. He's like a battlefield medic. Doesn't fight.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Hacksaw Ridge?
Is it? Yeah, is it Hacksaw Ridge?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought about him. Corey Andy, welcome to the chat. He said Chargers, wow. Lost cash on that straight up 3 plays at the 3-1 and nothing. Vegas Lions didn't cover today. Yeah. Sad face.
Yeah, well, they're supposed to cover every week. It's tough.
None stick out to Mickey, so CMC, I don't want to say he's the best ever, but he's been the best of the last, 5-10 years?
Yeah.
At least this season.
I don't know if no one thinks.
And it's tough to put him at, even the Patriots receivers. He's been better than any of those guys.
Edelman's played.
Welker's played well, too.
Brian Finneran?
Unpopular opinion, Phillip Rivers, otherwise known as Felipe Rios, is not a Hall of Famer. And then ITYM says no one thinks Rivers is Hall of Famer. I put Eli in before Rivers.
I might actually put Eli in.
Eli's got a couple Super Bowl rings. Can't remember the last time he won a playoff game. Took the Chargers 2.5 yesterday. Should have waited till 3 today. Yeah, that's rough, Corey.
Glock, you can say Edelman about system. I think it's unfair because, I like him in fantasy, not because I think he's going to get the most points, not because I think he's the best athlete. Julian Edelman shows up and plays football, and there's a lot of receivers that take pussy-ass injuries, and it's not a tough position, and he brings a toughness to the position. He's smart. He has good hands. He gets open in the right spots. He is a favorite target of his player. I like Julian Edelman. Like the amount of wimpy stuff that goes on in the NFL now is mind-boggling to me. I mean, this is the same league where a guy took a piece of rebar to reinforce his broken leg to continue playing. Another guy in an offseason cut his finger off so he can continue playing. I mean, this kind of stuff doesn't happen.
It didn't have an offseason.
It was offseason.
Oh,
everyone thought it was during the game, including me, and then I did some homework on it.
The one thing about Rivers is you forget about how well he played at the start of his career.
Yeah, he had a great team too, but
his team was unreal.
Longevity-wise, though, he's been in the league and he's done it.
Mm-hmm. But if you took his last 5 years and said, "Is this guy a Hall of Fame player?" Everyone.
Well, I mean, he's no Bubby Brister, but
Lions held tough. Vikings put their talent to use. Hall of Fame baby maker.
Oh, I didn't say Edelman's a Hall of Famer. I didn't say that. You called him a system wide receiver, and I defended that.
I'm with Mickey.
Yes,
Phillip Rivers is a Hall of Fame baby maker.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Only 2 from the 3 that should be Hall of Famers are Ben and Eli, not Rivers. After that third quarter where they gained 2 yards in a quarter, Rivers is out for the half. If Edelman and Rivers make Hall of Fame, then we should induct Nick Foles. Yeah.
That's not a bad argument.
It's an argument to make. Chargers missed out on 3 early, going for it on 4th. Chargers and Falcons can no longer be trusted.
Oh, fumble recovered by Dallas. I don't know if he gave him. I don't know how they're gonna rule this though. The referee's looking around. He has no idea. They're calling it a fumble.
Looks like they're calling him down.
Oh, they're calling it down.
Yeah, Ronnie Lott was the guy who cut off his finger.
Yeah.
And Mickey Hill loves the Bubby.
Bubby Brister. I've been saying that a while. Oh, he's clearly down.
If Foles can win a Super Bowl, then Rivers should win one.
But it's not about who should and shouldn't. It's who does. You have to go out and do. There's no... Championships aren't awarded. They're won. Didn't Rivers have the GOAT LT? No.
Yeah. LaDainian Tomlinson. Different.
Oh, I thought you were talking about left tackle. I'm like, no. Who was it? Marcus Mick. I can't even remember his name now. He was a good one, but...
Talking about left tackles?
Yeah.
I can't remember who it was.
Oh, I guess Marcus. Oh, he was a huge guy.
Gardner Minshew was inducted into the Hall of Fame the evening before he was drafted. Yeah, it's hard to believe. I saw that he was 5th for Heisman voting. It's weird that a guy...
Marcus McNeil. There you go.
Ah, yes. Marcus McNeil.
Yeah. 3rd and 4, Philadelphia from their own 31-yard line. Wentz with a pass to Dallas Goedert.
I'm with Glock saying that LaDainian Tomlinson was the best running back of all time.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm going to say Jim Brown. Not that we've seen him, but if you watch Jim Brown highlights and you look at his statistics, they're out of this world better than everybody's.
According to the reports, though, Jacksonville Jaguars quarterbacks have the biggest dicks in the league out of everyone. It's surprising when they got 2 white guys.
Yeah, I know. You'd think it'd be Lamar Jackson or Russell Wilson's a bit of an Uncle Tom, so...
I've had a couple dreams, but who knows?
Yeah, who knows
really
what ones,
is on
I'm
top.
sure.
Goedert starting to steal Ertz's points. I love it, yeah. ITYM's got Barry Sanders at number 1.
I could understand that. Yeah, different and being the best are 2 different things, though.
Starting a franchise today, Mahomes
is pretty easy. Pretty easy,
healthy
Mahomes.
Wentz, who are you using?
I like Mahomes off the field, too. He says the right things, does the right things. He's a low risk for problems.
I think for me, Mahomes 1, Deshaun 2, Wentz 3.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's pretty obvious. A lot of chatter in here.
Yeah, OJ is probably the greatest all time. It's still questionable, though, about his NFL career.
What do you think was harder for OJ? Rushing for 2,000 yards or slicing 2 necks in one night?
I'm going to go with rushing for 2,000.
Because that would have been it was pretty quick.
How many people have rushed for 2,000 yards?
OJ Simpson, Jamal Lewis, Chris Johnson, Adrian Peterson. That's it.
So there's 4. How many people have got their necks sliced in a night? 2.
2. Well, how many times has a guy done a double murder?
Mm-hmm.
I guess more than that. But, I mean, the opportunity isn't always there.
Guess we got to run a census.
Yeah, we do. I don't think Eagles will be that big of a dog against Buffalo. Eric Dickerson's a good one, too. Oh, yeah. 2,000 yards. I forgot. Eric Dickerson, he's got the lead, so it's 5.
I got a line in my head. What would you say Eagles versus Buffalo would be?
It's Eagles. It's Philly on the road in Buffalo.
Yeah, if Buffalo's at home.
Bills minus 3.5. Bills minus 4.
I said 4, which is kind of surprising.
Yeah, Dickerson's in the leader of the 2,000 club. I forgot. How did I forget the guy who's in first?
Here's a good one: Dak, Jacoby, or Kyler Murray? Jacoby Brissett, not Jacoby Myers.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. I don't know. It's too early. I don't know. I like Jacoby Brissett. Even then,
I take Dak. But Dak's also a lot more proven than those two guys.
I don't know, man. Corey, just Jim Brown's stats are out of this. They're just unbelievable. All right, Dallas up 21-7. Looking like our cover's doing well, boys.
And Eric Dickerson as well in that 2,000 plus crew.
I just mentioned that twice. Okay. I don't know if you heard.
No clue. Don't listen at all. Glock's got Jacoby, Kyler, then Dak.
I don't know, but I think Dak's not bad.
He's won.
Dak's a winner. I like Brissett for whatever reason.
I think all three of those guys probably have winning records.
No, well, he's a 500 quarterback technically, Kyler Murray. Brissett is a winning player. Absolutely. So is Dak. Road teams tend to be underdogs. We just tend to take underdogs. We think underdogs is generally the way you go. I mean, it's not like, I think I'd say 59%, 60% of the time we're taking underdogs. Somewhere in there.
It's higher than that.
It's higher than that, 65.
It's probably around 70, but I don't know. We can go back and check and see. It's pretty rare we're taking favorites.
Dylan went to finish himself off on his Eagles jersey. His Saints jersey. They got a win today.
Welcome to chat, TNT. Do you think the Eagles will come back?
Probably not.
What's the live line right now? Probably Dallas minus 10.5. So Philly's got
I'd say more. 11.5.
They've probably got about a 20% chance to come back and win.
You know what?
There's only one way to check if Dylan's still here. Man, those Saints, they suck. There's no way they're going to win the Super Bowl. Yeah. Not a chance.
He's going to find $1,000 to bet me on the Saints to win the Super Bowl.
He's going to be doing the same stuff Norm did under that bridge with Adam Egan.
That's the easiest bet in the world. You bet them the 1,000, then you go take them right now at 6-1 for $180, and then you pocket the 920 in difference, home run, or the 820 in difference.
So right now, live line's Philly minus 2.5. What's the score? 14. So what's that? 11.5. I don't know. Math's not my thing.
Well, I guess I was right again. No.
I would stay away from live bets. The thing that's really tough with live bets, there's two things. One, you're going off emotion.
Yes, gambling and emotion don't work
I've
together.
learned that the hard way. I lost big time live betting. Two,
well, he only did it once, though. He only did it once. And he did phone me and say he was sorry.
Yeah, because it was a bad decision. And two, let us know what the juice is. Like, if you bet Philly minus 2.5, what's the juice on that right now? And then let us know what the juice is on the other side, because that's a big deal when making these bets.
Look at my hair. And why'd you make me look like a Japanese monster? You should be bigger and I should be smaller. I already have
my hair and makeup now. You lean back all the way. I make your camera small.
Well, I like leaning because I'm a massive pig.
Here you go. Now you're normal
there you
size.
go. Why can't you do that in the first place? Here, maybe I'll do one of those.
I said it when you were leaning back.
Yeah. Maybe I should do one of those things where I put my head upside down and you talk with your chin in the air. I was always confused about what that was when I was a kid. Like, I never got it. I'm like, where are these people?
Oh.
Wow, we're getting a lot of question here. 3 favorite players. I'll be honest, I have a lot of Jim Brown memorabilia. Like, I have like a lot. I never saw him, obviously. I was born in 87. But those highlights are my favorite. And his book, Out of Bounds, is an excellent autobiography. Yeah, I like that. Keep that up.
I think number one, LaDainian Tomlinson. He's who made me fall in love with football. I'd probably throw in Randy Moss as my second favorite. And I'll throw in Le'Veon Bell as my current favorite.
I'll go, did you finish on that jersey, Dylan? Or did you put it in one of those Saints chalices? You just load it up with a little bit more every time the Saints win. I feel bad for the guy who's going to have to drink that at the end of the season.
If the Cowboys do anything from here on out, feed Zeke, slowly move chains, play safe defense, the whole coaching staff is officially trash. Yeah. I don't want to say it's officially trash, but I know people are generally don't like the Cowboys coaches.
Item 1, 2, 3 is it's what you do. It is what you do.
Glock likes LaDainian Tomlinson, Nicholas Chubb, and Antonio Brown.
I was right. Dylan did bust real quick from that stress. It's how you get it off. You take a few tokes, rub on the piss pump, off you go, right?
Yeah.
That Saints chalice has got to be full, though, by now. It's 5 wins in a row, man.
By the way, for all the people that think the Patriots are number 1, they will lose to the Ravens in 2 weeks. Ravens
maybe.
Flock.
Maybe.
Where is that game? Is it in Baltimore or is it in New England? Nick Chubb I was so excited because we're Browns fans. When the Browns drafted him in the second round, I was jumping for joy, and he's been even better than I expected.
Yeah, he's been way better. Oh, it's in Baltimore. Yeah, they should be favored, the Ravens, at home.
Nick Chubb was a guy who not one person said in their top 5 running backs.
Yeah, it's only his second year. I might have got to him. I don't know. He's up there for me, though. He's pretty good.
Dylan said it doesn't matter where this game is. The Ravens are better.
Wow.
He is better than every running back talent-wise than Saquon and CMC. He's probably played best from when he started in this league till he got out, or till now. You could maybe argue Kamara, but CMC's been pretty damn good, especially lately. It's hard to argue that a guy like CMC just doesn't come off the field.
Yeah, that's the part I don't get. Like, as far as like adding win probability, if he's playing 99%, you're really getting them your bang for your buck with that guy.
Yeah, especially on a rookie deal.
Yeah, it's crazy good.
It's tough to just say it doesn't matter where that game is because you're throwing away about 20% easy.
Oh, big catch by Cooper out of bounds, encroaching in Philadelphia's territory. I like what item 1, 2, 3 says. Similar type attitude as I have to receivers. I traded Nick Chubb for Devontae. My toe is sore Adams in fantasy. Safe to say I'm struggling.
Yeah, you always want to keep running backs over receivers, IT.
Always want to keep running backs. What? Look at today I started Valdez-Scantling. That was 22 right there. I picked him up on waivers. And who was the other guy I got? I started on waivers. Jamison Crowder. Who knows? Would you guys have Bridgewater over Kyle Allen? I mean, probably just because of...
Bridgewater over Kyle Allen.
Yeah, sure. But that's just... a lot of that's experience. Kyle Allen's hasn't played as much. Hasn't been in systems as long. I'll take Bridgewater at this moment in time, but Kyle Allen could turn out to be really good. Exactly what Mickey Hill said. I agree with.
The Lochneser said he's acquired almost every first-round pick in his 12-team league. Sounds like the fat guy last year.
Oh yeah, I trade, and I'm going to be 2-5, and I had my lowest pick was a 6th round. Yeah, not everything rolls your way every time. Whatever, I'm going to clean up on those other bets, so I don't care.
TNC says if Dallas goes 28-7, second half will be Philadelphia time. I don't know, TNT. There's no guarantee that they're going to come back. And especially, let us know what that juice is. I'm really interested to know what the juice is on the live betting.
Yeah, I have Jamison Crowder as well. I'm going to win one of them. I'm going to lose one of them. I only did 2 fantasies now. We don't really care too much about fantasies much anymore. It's not really it's not much of a thing.
Lesnar's got Matt Ryan. I've got Matt Ryan too. That was tough.
Ooh, I actually need some points in one of them. I got Prescott, Crowder, Ertz, and Jake Elliott against Michael Gallup, and I'm down 4. That should be easy.
Glock City has Crowder left and needs 24 points from Philly. Ravens number 1 in offense, time of possession, plus points per game, plus rushing. Good luck, Brady.
The only stat I am impressed with there is
time of possession. Darnold and Kirk on your bench.
3 quarterbacks, eh? Not a strategy.
How many teams in that league?
Yeah. Ravens inconsistent. That's fair. Losing that game to the Browns was weird.
Marcus Peters had a nice pick six today of Russell Wilson, which is a pretty rare occurrence.
Pitch to Elliott, and he
goodness. He made Brandon Graham look silly.
Holy. That Elliott run was incredible. Marlon Humphrey is the best cornerback in the league. I don't know about that.
He's not number one for us. He played well today, or he made a big play today. I can't believe Graham just completely missed on that tackle. Marcus Lattimore has to be in the top 3.
Maybe.
He put Evans and Cooper on house arrest. Lattimore's been really good since he's come into the league.
Gambling is the only time I pull for Yeah, same here. Big Rye will pull on them if he takes a look at all their mug shots. But, yeah, gambling is usually the only time I pull for anybody, to be honest.
If Humphrey was on the Pats, people would be on his PP.
Yeah, it's hard. I think Stephon Gilmore he's been pretty good the last couple years. I mean, and then there's Ramsey can ball too. Not that I like Ramsey's personality. And Peterson's getting a little long in the tooth. He had a nice sack fumble though.
I would not say that. Patrick Peterson just came back. He's only played 1 game so far this year.
Yeah, but I still think like this is kind of the age group where you're starting to fall off a little bit at cornerback.
Yeah, I disagree. I know what you're saying, but I disagree. I still think he's one of the best.
Yeah, I'm just saying this could be it. You could see it.
You feel like the wheels are coming off.
Every time. I mean, Champ Bailey and Darrelle Revis can look dumb. Anyone can. Not that I was ever a Revis fan. I was a Nnamdi Asomugha fan. How did that turn out?
Well, he played on the Super Team
Eagles. How'd that work out?
Is that the team that Nick Foles played on?
Yeah, we all picked the Lions.
I was pulling for Vikings today until I remembered I picked the Lions. Yeah, that stuff. Lesnar's got Ramsey, Humphrey, and Gilly.
Dylan, the Chiefs' defense isn't going to improve. They are what they are. I'm not a Steve Spagnuolo fan. I don't know why they chose him as a D coordinator. You should know, being a Saints fan, Dylan. Not good.
The Chiefs are in tough for the next few weeks without Mahomes.
They have Matt Moore and a not-so-good defense. This is interesting.
What's the standings in that division?
Well, they're in first, and then the Raiders are 500, so they're in second. Here's a Maher kick for you, Big Rye.
They're lucky that the Raiders, Broncos, and Chargers are all pretty much the Chargers are struggling. But the division is not locked up for the Chiefs now with this injury.
No. Like, the Raiders actually have some stake in it. It's weird. It's weird to say that out loud.
If they won today, it'd be pretty dangerous. I wonder if they have any divisional games that's going to be tough for the Chiefs over the next few weeks.
I'll take the Raiders at home against any of those teams right now.
They play a Sunday nighter next week against the Packers at home.
It's not easy.
It's going to be like
Packers minus
2.5.
I was going to say 3.5.
I originally thought pick 'em, but I might be underrating this.
Yeah. Of course they do. Pat's D is unsustainable. Chiefs should win, but I'm talking about Matt Moore, this injured Chiefs team, and these Cowboys cheerleaders are fantastic. Sorry, I got distracted. Holy, totally forgot what I was talking about. The Raiders lost to the Chiefs, but against like the injured iteration of the Chiefs right now, I like them. I know they lost at home, but I like the Raiders at home, and if they were to play that iteration at home, so not that they will.
The Chiefs might lose the next 6 games. If he's out 6 games, they play the Packers, then they play the Vikings, then they have to go to Tennessee to play the Titans, then they play the Chargers at home, Raiders on the road, and then they have to go to New England and play the Patriots.
Do you guys agree with home field being a field goal advantage? Mickey actually has better numbers than we do as far as home field advantage, and no, I don't. It's closer to 2 points. Dylan, he's right, and also some places it's more though. They just usually use field goal as like an anchoring point because field goal is more of it's a football term and it's a number that's more I guess not accurate. It's more relatable to people. So it's usually pieces of a point. Big sack here for the Cowboys.
I want to go back earlier to ITYM said, is Philly a good pick for second half? I'm going to say no. ITYM also asked question, if you could go back in time and redraft for fantasy, where would you prioritize the Pats defense, which scores 20 points a game and is basically another quarterback?
I would, to me, defense is all matchups. I mean, it's worked out for him great, but I think that's, you could math break it down. If it's worth 20 points a game, then technically they should be the first overall pick. All that being said, though, is none of that's, I don't think any of that's sustainable. A lot of defense is matchup. I think their defense is good. What a play by Robert Quinn again. But I'm still going to take 8 running backs in a row in fantasy. Fantasy, and sometimes I'll take a tight end within that. Big Rye made an interesting, him and I made a discovery more or less. It was probably last year it started, where I had this theory about the rarity of top-end tight ends and where they would fit in fantasy because it's a big advantage, especially if you have 2 of them because you've now cornered the market. But in fantasy, Big Ryan, I believe in that running back is the way to go. And everything should be counted as points above replacement. And you can pick up a receiver every week. You could play literally 2 different receivers every week that are the best on the waiver wire, and you should have a reasonable output from your receivers. Maybe only 2 points less than if you drafted 2 receivers highly. Whereas a running back, if you had to replace them with somebody off the waiver, it's not very fruitful whatsoever. There aren't good running backs on the on the waiver.
A lot of people in chat are pro Chiefs even without Mahomes, which I'm surprised by.
I streamed Kenny Stills. He outscored Keenan Allen. Yeah, definitely. I drafted Joe Mixon, one of my first round picks. I had 3, I think. So, I mean, you're not going to hit on all of them, right? But you take the median, right? Because some are going to be great, some aren't, right? So, and Joe Mixon went in the same area kind of as Dalvin Cook, so you could look at it that way too. One went extremely bad, one went extremely good. Mixon still has a chance to turn his season around. It's just unlikely. You know, any of those players can get injured as well. I prefer just taking 7 or 8 in a row. Also, too, you end up creating scarcity within your league, and then people are, generally people want to trade with you, and then you have all the advantage because the receivers are very little. So, because you think about when you think about the Adams Chubb trade you made item. I mean, it's Chubb's opportunities are so much better, and receivers can get taken out of games very easily too. Like I ended up getting because we were in a keeper league, and I had my lowest pick was 6th round, so I ended up getting a loaded team, which is only 2 and 5 by the way, and I have Odell Beckham and Edelman. I prefer Edelman, oddly enough, even though I traded for Odell Beckham. Not that I like him.
Well, you prefer his consistency.
I prefer consistency, and I actually think I can get more consistency out of streaming a wide receiver, if that makes any sense.
It does, because you're more matchup dependent at wide receiver.
Big Rye, just so you know, Big Rye's strategy is to draft wide receivers, because we go off a list, but Big Rye ends up getting him in the 12th and 13th round. And he gets just as many receiver points as anyone, I feel like. Who'd you stream what? Ted Ginn this year you've done?
I did Ted Ginn last year at the start of the year when he had 4 touchdowns.
Yeah, I think you did John Brown. Who else? You've nailed everyone. Who you had? Cortland Sutton the other week?
Cortland Sutton 2 weeks ago. I had Marquez Valdez-Scantling this week. It just feels like they hit every time, but
what I did Valdez-Scantling today, 130 yards and a touchdown. Guys on waiver. No one wants them.
I was really worried about the Raiders secondary, though. They play so well. It's such a good group.
Yeah, they were worried about it. Yeah, of course. Godwin was a 10th round draft pick, and he's number 1 wide receiver in fantasy.
Yeah. Where was Shark getting drafted?
DJ Shark is my WR1 in one of those leagues now. He was undrafted. They exist. None of those running backs exist like that. They do not exist.
Yeah, the closest thing so far, and it's only because of today, was Chase Edmonds.
Yes.
People tried to do that with Pollard, but he hasn't been a fantasy darling yet because Elliott's played.
Well, it's opportunity, right? So at least third WR3s are on the field as much as WR1s. Maybe not so much, but close. If you're the starting running back on a team and you're the bell cow, you're the starting running back.
Glock picked up Chark on waivers and then used him to trade for Saquon. That's as good as a value as you could get.
You're going to possibly get. Saquon at the start of the year is a number 1 fantasy player by a reasonable margin. Yeah, if Cook goes down, Madison is an RB1. I agree. I like Alexander Madison.
How many timeouts left for Dallas, and where are they on the field?
Dallas is at the 50, I believe. They have no timeouts. There's 9 seconds left. I don't know how this is going to work out.
Alexander Madison is a great example of a guy who's played really, really well.
But still not the opportunity, right?
Yep.
They're at the 45.
So it'd be a 61, 62-yarder from where they are now. They have no timeouts left, so this is going to be a quick throw to the outside. He throws it away.
Good
so
play.
We're gonna get like a 62, 63-yarder here from Maher.
Yeah, Carson was good value. He's a player I have on one of my rosters. Big Carson fan. Because the other thing too is, if you do this strategy, you're going to get a guy in the 4th that might be better than the guy in your 1st round. You might whiff on your 1st round pick, hit on your 4th. You might hit on your 1st and your 4th round pick. Looks like this is going to be a fun one. This is a Jake Jacobs play if I've ever seen one. A long special teams play. Half unbuckled chin strap for Maher. He's very focused. Oh, this looks good. Wow.
It would have been good from 66 yards according to Sunday Night Football kicks. It's good. The Glock says there's only 4 good handcuffs because of situation, volume, O-line, and that's Pollard, Madison, Edmonds.
That was awesome. I'm sorry. That was awesome. I had to cut that off.
Yeah, TNT. He hit that field goal.
Mike Tirico looks like he's a guy who goes to an airport in Milwaukee and toe taps in the stall if you know there's a gentleman next to him.
I think I might have met him once, but we didn't get any face-to-face.
You joined the Mile High Club with Mike Tirico?
Was that 66? That was, or it would have been good.
Would have been good from 66. 63-yard field goal. $62? I thought it was 63. Either way, it's rowdy.
Things went Dallas's way that half. Oh, TNT lives in Dallas too.
Right on. I've been there on layover.
Glock's gonna name a dog Jamison Crowder if he wins his fantasy football matchup.
That's a lot of burden for small joy, but I'm into it.
How many points do you need from Crowder to win?
He needs like 13 or something. It's like doable.
Yeah.
Week 1, Crowder had 13.
Yeah, I could do it. It's pretty much touchdown dependent, but he could do it. Oh, 12 points in a PPR. That's not that bad.
Oh, dude, he had... that's so easy, man. Like, I'm not saying it's going to happen, but he had, 16 catches week 1?
Yeah, for PPR, it's definitely possible.
Mickey Hill, Garrett still has time to fuck it up. I agree.
He does, but this is a pretty
It's unlikely.
Good 20 points. .24 targets in the 2 games Darnold's played. What's New England going to do tomorrow to shut down this? Like, what's the number one thing you guys would be worried about from this Jets offense?
Jets offense?
Yeah. Like, what's New England?
Oh, you're talking about tomorrow?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. I don't think we can keep time of possession.
I think Bell's the number one thing they want to stop, right? Like, would you rather have the ball in Darnold's hands making plays, or would you rather have Bell?
Obviously, you want it in Darnold's things. Yeah, that 99 yards for 14 catches is very low average depth of target.
Lesnar's saying Bell.
TNT, we like the Jets tomorrow.
Yeah, we like the Jets as a pick. It's probably going to be a no bet.
It'll be close though. We'll see closer to the.
I take it back. It's probably going to be a Jets bet.
Yeah, Jets bet.
They're going to be plus 10 at home.
Contrarian play all the way. Yeah. Mickey Hill says, I go Jets when my system has Pats by 14. This is another, this is a classic handicapping versus market thing. Mickey Hill's also handicaps, but I believe, I can't speak for him specifically, that he would agree with us that it's the market factors are a bit stronger of a force and a bit more reliable than our old eyes and our handicapping abilities. At least mine.
Yeah, what we did was we would always focus on the market first and then handicap second.
Yes, handicap is a...
So in games where the market's kind of 50-50 or doesn't tell us much, we would rely on the handicapping side.
Yeah, Mickey Hill agrees. Because don't forget, the market's going to tell you. It's going to take everyone's handicapping and pool it into one more or less. And the guesser always loses. That's another adage from Amarillo Slim Preston. I plug his book a lot because I really do enjoy it. It's a lot of good anecdotes. It's called Amarillo Slim in a World Full of Fat People. And how he used to pick teams against the spread is he'd go down to a bar, a local bar. This is his version of data sourcing. And he'd just ask everyone what game they liked, all the football heads, and he'd figure out what side they liked, and he'd bet against them. And I think that little story is just extrapolated now for us. Yeah. I mean, the public bets with emotion. The public bets with pretty much every negative going against them. So I want to find out where, if their money is slanted heavily in one direction, I just want to be on the other. I really do.
I hate to go against New England, Alabama, and Golden State. The three I hate the most when I go against them.
Amarillo Slim's a genius, a complete genius. My dad was a professional gambler. My grandfather was a professional gambler. So I kind of had the bringing up of the old school, old timey gambler, and he's I'm a big fan of those types of guys. Those guys are sharp as knives, smart as they get. Those types of guys, very smart. Jason Finley. Is Green Bay for real? Green Bay is a good team. Aaron Rodgers is on. You got Aaron Rodgers on your team, you're going to be good. Their defense is coming around a little bit. They have a bit better of a run game. Green Bay is more complete than they have been in past years. Not as complete as they were in 2009, 2010 when they're able to win the Super Bowl. But this is a good team.
And there's three things that I look for market perspective, because we're talking about this Monday Night Football game, New England at the Jets. So this game opened at 10. I'm looking at Pinnacle Sports, which is an online book, and opened at 10. The juice was on the Jets minus 117 at plus 10. The line has not moved, or it went down, but it's gone back up to 10 at a low at 8.5.
The pros have clearly pushed the line, not the public, back up from 8.5.
Well, the public's on New England because 67% of spread bettors are on the Patriots, but the line hasn't moved that much, showing that there's more money coming in by pros on the Jets.
Per capita, more money per person on the Jets.
So reverse line movement hasn't really changed. It's pretty much stayed the same. So that's one factor we look into. So there hasn't been any reverse line movements for this game. The second thing is just betting public in general. You're looking at under 20 is the best, under 30 is good, under 40 is okay. So right now 33%, under 40, that's okay. The third thing that we're going to be looking for is the spread itself. And at 10 points, double-digit underdog, especially at home, it's a no-brainer.
It's a standard.
So those are the three things you're looking for. One's a no-brainer, one's a so-so. The other one hasn't changed, but it's showing that. Second half is a no-bet for me. Tell us what the juice is. Right now, if you were to bet this Patriots game, you get plus 108 if you take the Patriots, or minus 119 if you take the Jets. I need to know that to tell you what's
one way or another. Bad. Our opinion would be regardless to, well, not regardless.
It's going to be
you're
very
probably better off taking that money and putting it on the Jets tomorrow. It's probably a better play. I gotta go ruin the bathroom. I'll be right back.
Good luck. Actually, we might even be able to see what the live line is. The answer is the Eagles can cover 3, but I would not be betting it. It looks like 100% of bettors, if this is accurate, is betting the Eagles to win the second half by 2.5 points. Mickey Hill says one site differentiates between pick percentage and money percentage. Can't remember which. Yeah, this Sports Insights picks, they show pick percentages, and if you buy whatever their extra thing is, you can look at the money percentages as well. The Eagles need to send the Broncos a second rounder and some quarterback scouts for Chris Harris Jr. That would be a pretty nice pickup for the Eagles secondary if they could have Chris Harris Jr. A second might be a little bit too much to pay, though. And Denver can still win the division with this Mahomes injury. Which is crazy to think. Here's what I'm talking about with the juice. To bet this line live, it's minus 108 is the base, whereas second half, it's closer to minus 106, it looks like. Maybe minus 105. Yeah, it's 105. So you are better to bet the second half. But I don't know. He's out 3 to 4 weeks. We'll see. Is he going to be completely healthy, though, when he comes back? We've seen this from other guys that have toughed it out and played. Rodgers, Russell Wilson. The one thing I will say is if these percentages are correct, people are leaning towards taking the Cowboys plus 2.5, and only 30% of people are on the Cowboys. Matt Moore isn't a significant downgrade from Joe, like Joe Flacco. Yeah, I just think Mahomes is so good on that team. Like Mahomes is such a difference maker. Yeah, and he was fighting the high ankle sprain before the injury. It's tough. It's tough to know what you're going to get. Kansas City played really, really well. But Denver looked absolutely terrible on Thursday. Looks like the second half is about to start. Only 8 throws from Wentz. Those turnovers hurt Philly this first half. Pretty much their worst first half under Doug Peterson. If I had to pick, I'd take Dallas plus 2.5. But I'm not very confident. It's just not... I'm not into betting second halves. Yeah, Denver's... His name escapes from the top of my head, but he played very poorly. Denver's left tackle. Pollard in to start the second half. I'm cheering for Philly to come back and make this a game, even though I have Dallas -3. Thank you, Garrett Bowles. Yeah, he played very poorly. That Denver team should have destroyed Kansas City up front, and it just never happened. It was very, very, very strange to watch. And Flacco was just so uninspiring. Like, it looked like he was out there collecting a paycheck. The guy didn't give two shits about the game. Well-designed screen here. And Zach Martin misses his block. Yeah, it's tough. Elway's taken... They had a very, very, very good team, and it's just been downhill ever since. Outside of Chubb and Vaughn, his picks have been horrible. And those two picks are so obvious. Like, those were... Like, they were surprised Chubb even fell to them. I know. I was so upset about that. Chubb and Myles Garrett would have been awesome. And think about it. The Browns had to trade for Olivier Vernon or sign him, whatever they did. But he's getting paid so much more money than what they'd be paying Chubb. It's going on, Dylan? Welcome back. Denzel Ward's been good, but I just think pass rusher is a more valuable position than corner. That's my opinion. Fat guy's taking a dump. Gave him too much chicken. Big sack for Philly. But I wish, like, if they have Chubb and Garrett and they're both on rookie deals, oh my goodness, that would just be so nice. We're in Vancouver, BC, in Canada. Yeah, Chubb's hurt. Ward is hurt. Oh, it looks like a fumble from Dallas. But Travis Frederick was able to fall on it. Fletcher Cox making plays. Oh, we're at my home. I've got a nice setup here. We became Browns fans by betting. The market was everybody always bet against the Browns, and we always bet for the Browns because of our contrarian style. So when you're betting the Browns every week, they just become your favorite team. But now it's like impossible to bet the Browns. We were able to bet the Browns when they played the Ravens this year, but that's only because everybody was all over the Ravens and the line was ridiculous, and the Browns ended up winning that game, which was nice. But there's a lot of the public are all on the Browns, either good or bad this year, it's nice from a betting perspective. Mickey Hill says, I agree. Dylan, I don't believe Green Bay is the real deal either. Zeke is eating. Yeah, he's playing well. Yes, Green Bay isn't. Defense is overrated. Offense isn't special. It's just tough. That defense has played. They had a lot of hype in the preseason, and they've played about as well as, like, way over my expectations for that team. The additions they made have really made a difference on the outside. And even Fat Guy was kind of talking about it, that he feels bad for Kyler Fackrell, because Kyler Fackrell had a double-digit sack year last year, and he's pretty much been playing like a backup sub role. And Mayfield catching a lot of heat with their O-line. Yeah, it's all the O-line. Mayfield's fine. Well, I shouldn't say Mayfield's fine. Mayfield's actually taken a step back because of this O-line. You can just tell he's got the happy feet. Can't get it done. Thank you, Fat Guy.
Thank you. You got it.
I wouldn't say Mayfield's definitely not underrated. He's overrated, if anything. And it's that offensive line is just... It's been
so dreadful. And they haven't figured out that, like, he gets pressure from his left, he rolls to his right. He's not great at making that. It's not a great. He can't really throw on the run that well necessarily. It's just a bad spot. I don't understand why they don't run like run like a stack overflow on the left and flow everyone to the right. I think the play is called flow. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what the plan is. Their line sucks.
That's the reason why we didn't like the Browns coming into the season, is that they have all of these like high-flying, hyped-up, skill position players.
Mouthy. When things go bad, it goes bad.
Yeah. The Fat Guy really looks like Ed Kemper once you get a kiss in.
Yeah. Did someone call me Ed Kemper?
Yeah.
You look like Gary Ridgway. At least Ed Kemper's a more palatable serial killer.
Oh, yeah, I'm so worried about our comparables. I'm not done with this Cleveland offense, because it's so dumb how they've constructed this. Because you win the game on the offensive line, on the defensive line. Like, you win it on the line of scrimmage. And they've spent all their money on everything but that.
2 wide receivers. $36 million on 2 receivers.
It's ridiculous. And Freddie, like, it doesn't even... Well, The thing with Freddie's play calling is it just cuts down your playbook by like 80% when you can't block. Like all you're gonna do is like screens and draws and that kind of stuff the entire game. It just doesn't work.
Yeah, Ed Kemper's a tall serial killer.
Yeah, Glock. They need to run Chubb like
Freddie did get fingered. Hey, there's another good Canadian boy, Tom Green.
Yeah.
Daddy would like some sausage. Oh, when I was humming and hawing in the bathroom, not just my production, but Chandler Jones had 4 sacks today. That's crazy.
And a sack fumble and a recovery.
Yeah, that's how you win games.
Chubb has the speed of Dalvin Cook and physicality of Chris Carson. Chubb is a very, very excellent runner. Excellent vision. He's just... he's awesome. He's a guy, you know what it is about Chubb too? Is he's relatively boring compared to a lot of those other guys.
That actually almost helps. It's so weird.
Well, a lot of people aren't, like, when we were bringing up everybody, it's Kamara.
Yeah, he never got brought up.
It's CMC, like the guys that can do like the jump cuts and that kind of stuff, the Shady McCoys of the world.
Yeah, Shady McCoy, one of my least favorites. Ever since he slid in that game for the Eagles against the 49ers, when I think I bet on the Eagles, I was very disgusted.
Glock's laughing that the Pats drafted Sony Michel over Chubb, and Sony Michel was just as good as Chubb in college. Like, those guys split time. And Chubb was coming off a pretty big injury, too. Pats would go 16-0 if they could draft skill positions.
And cornerbacks. They haven't got a cornerback right, and I don't even remember.
Well, like a high round corner?
Yeah.
I wouldn't say that. They've got maybe the best secondary in the league right now.
Yeah,
and a couple of those guys were drafted.
Like who? J.C. Jackson?
Crossan.
Crossan on the team anymore.
He's not on the team anymore?
No.
Well, what do I know?
There you go. Yeah. He picked Freeman up by the shoulder pads. We were laughing, and his feet were dangling.
I sure hope he can pick... Like, Freeman's like 190 pounds, and what's Aaron Donald? 280?
290. That was awesome, though. That's strong. I could lift you like that, but not Devonta Freeman.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm no Aaron Donald, though, that's for sure.
And
yeah, Keon Crossan plays in the Texans.
And that's why Chubb is so good. He doesn't have an attitude like the rest of those guys. It's weird that he's the one having success while everyone else is
real
worried
weird
about their earrings and chains and visors.
I want to make sure I get the right watch when I'm going to play. Whatever, though. Like, Beckham would be a lot happier if he just, if he just came out to the world and let him know who he was.
I don't think that's going to fix anything. What's going on,
Hey, Jake, we gave you a... Yeah, we loved the ending of the Titans game. We loved it.
Jake's still reeling.
Jake, we gave you a shout-out. You weren't here yet, but did you see that field goal? That was for you. That was a play built for you.
I bet you haven't seen it.
Second and 9. Dallas up 27-7. 9 yards to go. Oh, pressure from... They did a cornerback blitz here, Dallas. Oh, and he's going to get it out, too. I thought Tannehill did, too. I really did. But... whatever. I thought the reffing was atrocious in that game and lately. I just feel like the defense rarely gets a benefit of the doubt. I don't know. I just haven't been a fan of any of how long they take for decisions, everything. Aguilar ends up getting the first down from this Wentz play. That was pretty impressive because he just managed to get out of a cornerback's blitz.
Yeah, that Tannehill spot was terrible.
It was a terrible spot.
It really made us upset.
Terrible spot.
It's rare that I get upset in a game, and that was one of the things that happened today that upset me.
Jake, did you go to the game?
Yeah, how did he lose yards? The best thing is like the two refs just like stumble out and then put the ball down, but then they have to hold the ball in place.
Like it's so official,
like
even though it's completely arbitrary where they put it.
Yeah. And then did you see in the Saints game, there was a play where Teddy was scrambling, and he was like half a yard short, and they didn't reverse it even after the challenge. It was wild.
Wentz looks like an oversized kid at the pool with the swim hat and the nose plug. I feel like Wentz is like one of those Hispanic kids that wears a T-shirt in the pool. At your parents' house, there you go.
Yeah, Jake Jacobs. He's talking about the 62-yard field goal from Brett Maher.
Maher. It's a funner name to say. It's like when they had Abear, that goalie for the Ducks. Abear, that's a fun name to say. Ooh, Wentz bombing it. Ooh, nice catch by
Alshon Jeffrey.
Alshon Jeffrey took a nice pop, from
Xavier Woods.
Redskins Niners tickets were $6. I would have went.
I'd still be on the fence.
Get out of here,
they
man.
Got like chili cheese fries or something good.
Oh, I'm sure they don't have that.
Probably lots of.
I'm a vegan now. You forgot.
Probably lots of Bannock at Redskins.
Yeah,
games.
Bannock at Redskins games.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Listerine to wash it down.
What's it called? What's it called when you get reparations?
Well, yeah, reparations.
I'd be down if there was Bannock. I'd be getting a ton of it.
You should have gone to Glock. That would have been rad. No, a standard native people's drink, a double hand sanitizer and water.
Just terrible. Have you ever had Bannock? Like Bannock is legitimately really, really good.
I don't know if it's really good. It is good. I'll give you that.
No, it's really good.
Oh, I'm getting a bunch of bear meat next week. I'm excited.
Really?
Yeah.
I've had bear meat all weekend.
Yeah, it's so rainy. But that's what you're paying $6 for, and it's I don't know. It's a fun thing. I would at $6. I wouldn't be able to turn that down.
Who's got the best linebackers between the Cowboys, the Panthers,
Patriots,
and the Patriots? Who else? You guys throw it if there's somebody better. We were arguing
Jalen
about
Smith is
this
a baller.
earlier. It's hard to argue with this Dallas 1-2 punch with Van Der Esch and him. It's funny that Sean Lee's a linebacker in your team. I disregard him.
It's a total Canadian thing, Mickey Hill.
Jason Wooden looks like a porn star.
What? All male cast?
He looks like Mickey Free.
Mickey Free?
No.
I actually saw an interview with Mickey Free recently.
Who was the...
Mick Blue.
There you go. Mick Blue must look like Gary Ridgway.
Yes. Roquan and Trevathan are pretty good. They're pretty good. I'll give you that. Oh, Seattle, too. Seattle.
Yeah, Seattle. Seattle's the...
Wright, Kendricks, and Wagner. Those are pretty good ones.
I'm surprised they're playing all three of those guys so much. Well, I'm surprised they're playing Kendricks that much.
Sean Lee's teeth are so big. He could eat corn on the cob through a picket fence. That's funny. I think you said that one before, but it's funny.
Gardner Minshew is the porn star.
I could see. Yeah, he's got the 70s porn star look for sure.
Devin Bush is a stud.
Yeah, I would agree with that too.
No shoutouts for Blake Martinez.
Blake Martinez fills the stat sheet as far as solo tackles go, though.
I hope so. He's the only linebacker that plays.
Matt Ryan has the ugliest wife. I want to see this.
I got in trouble on Reddit once because I said Ryan Tannehill had a hot wife and it was just a girlfriend.
I don't know. She's weird looking. I'll give you that. She kind of looks like she used to be a guy. But beggars can't be choosers. It's not like I'm going to turn it down. She is weird looking, though. Holy.
Oh, you want to see?
Yeah, please show it. Go for it.
Oh, look, it's already in my search history.
Sarah Marshall. Her name's Sarah Marshall.
Yeah.
Well, after seeing that, I don't know if I can forget her.
Yeah, I was gonna. You beat
Some
me to
dumb
the punch.
joke, yeah. I never saw that movie. I don't care for those types of movies. Please show his wife.
Have you ever seen the
3rd and 7 at the 11?
The movie Matt Ryan's Privates?
Yeah. Like she's weird looking.
Yeah, if you show pictures like this one.
It's weird.
Jeez, please. Oh no. Tornado warning.
Jeff Roblo.
He's got to get out of the hot tub. That's terrible.
You don't want that 102 water sloshing around.
Glock says she looks like a clown. I know a couple clown hair girls.
It's going to be 3rd and 17 for the Eagles. Falcons are wasting Ryan's talents, I agree. We're a lot higher on Matt Ryan than the average bear, I would say. Former league MVP. Yeah, absolutely, Jeff Roblo. Go Pittsburgh is right. Especially for Big Rye. He's got a future bet on them.
Yeah, we're doing well, Jeff. Hopefully you're doing just
Oh, the
as
Cowboys
well.
fans look great. They're doing a little weird Braveheart thing going on.
I like that.
That was cool.
Glock likes it too. I want to get the same setup that Jeff has. Like hot tub every night.
We could put one in here.
Think about how relaxed his muscles are.
Hey, you got hypertension with all the bear activity you had.
What can I say?
Oh, Big Rye has Pittsburgh to win the division. It's not looking good.
Yeah, I think it's plus 150 for them to win the division.
I lose a reasonable amount of money if the Browns win the division. And what else do I have? I have Seahawks under 9.5, and I'm worried about that one. And I have Arizona over 3.5, which is looking good.
That one's looking
That
good.
Arizona bet was awesome. That was a smart one I did.
Over 3.5 on really any team is.
Except Miami probably. But that's all those guys, man. Those guys are just useless when it comes to negotiating. I let them make an outrageous claim and then force them to back it up. Yeah. We got the Cowboys. It's looking good. -3. Dallas up 27-10.
Yeah, we just have the.
Yeah, I need one win, Glock. So it's with a friend of mine. He kind of just goes. He gets very like bombastic about stuff.
Cardinals can't win 4 games.
Yeah, he'll go. Yeah, the Cardinals are terrible. They'll never win it. They're gonna win 1 or 2 games this season. And then I'll be like, okay, I'll take over. He's like, well, they're gonna win more than that. And then we'll settle on a line, and then we'll usually just bet a few $100 on it. And usually I do well at the end of the year. Let's put it that way. So I bet on lots of stuff, but that's one of my favorite hustles, though. Just getting into arguments with people and then they gamble with me. There's a lot of people that do that. Pretty popular around these parts for that.
Anyone see the Lions' defensive line? If you found it, call 1-800-HELP-ME.
Help me, yeah.
Boss Lion, you're low.
He's a bit of a pessimist, though. I got to give him that.
Well, they've had 2 tough games.
Where's Boss Lion in the overall?
I'm checking it out.
Yeah, I am a Kingsbury hater, more or less. I got to be honest, but it's just anyone. I mean, yeah, of course they go off emotion, not reason. How many games are the Cardinals supposed to, or on average, going to win this year? About 5, maybe 6. So it's pretty good. Yeah, Garrett will. Yeah, I agree, Mickey. This ain't over. It's looking good, but it ain't over.
Glock making a good point about people go off emotions, not reasoning.
Detroit time. Is he behind us? Yep.
Yeah. Three games behind us.
3 games behind us. Impressive. Mickey Hill, one behind the lead. Tuple that 1 week. BigRyanTheFatGuy.com. I'll type it in there.
Is he looking for a link to the leaderboard?
Yeah.
I'll send him one that's direct.
Yeah, send him. There you go.
Our site's pretty lame, but we're still getting used to it.
And we also didn't know what kind of response we were getting, and we're pretty pleased, I would say, with the interaction from you guys.
Deshaun Hanna and Mike Daniels were both out for today. Gets worse as we go against Saquon Barkley. Yeah, boss, it's tough. It's tough because those are 2 very important players for Detroit.
Absolutely.
A lot of that defense is centered around those players. Who does Tuple have tonight and tomorrow? Let's take a look.
There he is, 20 worst. He has Dallas and New England. Pittsburgh is 17-point favorite over Miami. I can tell you pretty easy where I feel instantly on that one. Pittsburgh shouldn't be 17-point favorites over anybody.
So, Mickey, if you get a Jets cover tomorrow, you'll be tied for the lead.
There is money on it then.
When Saquon was limping off for that one play, I almost started to cry.
People are into fantasy, I tell you. Man, Elliott is just a boss. No, I don't think Miami's a 7-point underdog to the Steelers. I really don't. Do I think Miami's good? Of course not. Worst team in 10 years, maybe longer.
The thing with those games is it's like a lot of these Miami games are really are coin flips. Like 17 points is just, it's way too many points, but
they're bad. I'm agreeing that they're bad. They're really bad.
It's a league with your high school friends.
All right, there is some bragging rights then for sure.
I like Boss Lion. He cares less for fantasy football.
So do I. So do you.
Mickey Hill's never even played.
Never even played fantasy, and that's a guy who would be particularly good at it too.
Yeah.
It's a lot of effort. And the thing is, you end up putting more on, a fantasy league is generally less money than you would put on one game, which I always found funny.
Yeah.
It should be over $1,000, I think, at least, for the effort you put in.
Well, for you to.
For me to want to do it, really want to do it, that would. I'd like to win, but I mean, it's whatever. Big Rye won our fantasy league last year. Show him the good old trophy there, Big Rye. We have a trophy in the office.
Yeah, but who cares? Just a dang fantasy football
Yeah.
champion.
I came last, and I did on purpose, though. I tanked really hard. I traded 14 of my 16 drafted players for draft picks, and it worked. Well, not really. I'm 2-5 this year.
Well, it's about making the right decisions, not about the results that come from those decisions. You gave yourself the best chance to win this year, and the year's not done.
We could do a Big Rye and the Fat Guy fantasy league next year.
Oh, yeah, we easily could.
We easily could. We could do a big one, and we get all our favorite contributors to join in, and then maybe we'll do like a spin the wheel for the rest. Mickey Hill, would you do one next year if it was just like me, you, Wook Dog? Obviously, me and Big Rye will be one team.
I'd love to do like a major, like 20 plus.
Like 20, yeah, really dirty one. 20 plus league, the Big Rye and the Fat Guy league. Well, we're doing this next year for sure. There's so many guys that would do it.
I'd give up all the rest just to do that. That would be way more fun.
Yeah, that would be way more fun. Dylan Toddfield.
Oh, Glock traded the third pick because he thought he wasn't getting McCaffrey.
Oh, that's so annoying. I got McCaffrey in one league. It's great. I want to get out of all the leagues, though, eventually. But if we do one, I'd be really interested in doing one with the viewers. A 20-teamer. That'd be awesome. Yeah, perfect. Because I want some of the Wook Dog, Steelers. I want some of the, Detroit time. I'd like some of the contributors to come in. Jake Jacobs.
Dylon.
Yeah, you got to have Dylan Toddfield in there. Nice run from Tony Pollard on 1st and 15. Another flag, though.
Then Cam got hurt and Kid took Kamara, but I had so many trade assets, so it worked out.
I like this fantasy idea because this would be fun. Interesting. It would be very interesting. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. You'll figure it out, though. You understand how to... You'd be fine. You're beating us in the pick pool. You're going to be okay. As far as fantasy goes.
It's pretty straightforward. You pick guys. They put up points. You see who wins.
You mostly want running backs. It's the rarest position. That's really it. Defense, you can switch out pretty much, so you don't have to be tied to one. I have money on the Cowboys that I just realized.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I took a bet on the phone on Tuesday.
Excellent.
Yeah, so I'm happy.
What was the line?
I got it at even.
That's good.
Well, I mean, if they don't know, then whatever. He says I want the Eagles. Well, I mean, what am I going to do? What, just give him the best line? I'm like, okay, you have the Eagles. I didn't say anything that way. I'm like, so Eagles win, I win? I'm like, yes. He's like, okay.
I wish I was rich so I could play in those $10,000 buy-in leagues.
Glock, oddly enough, the bigger money you play for with people, the less serious it is, believe it or not. Like, if you play in a very high-stakes poker game, it's usually businessmen that really don't care. Obviously there's going to be other pros in it, but that's in anything. That's kind of how it is. It's the weirdest thing ever. The guys who play for bragging rights or for small amounts of money are usually a lot more active, I would say. And it's pretty big gambling, too, the fantasy. There's the best and the worst players are only a few percentage points apart.
For what, sorry?
Fantasy.
Yeah. It's
a bit of a crapshoot.
To me, it's a lot of luck for fantasy. Especially for football. And depending on how many leagues there are, or how many teams. Like in an 18 league, you can kind of make moves here and there and spot start guys. But in a league with 20 players, it's very, you can't even pick up guys off waivers to play.
I'm excited. I want to do this.
I'm way more interested in doing a 32 team league.
Yeah, I would love to do that. That would be awesome.
No bench. So
No.
you could just pick at the start of the year and just roll with that team. It's a whole different, way less work. Daily fantasy is a scam. It's a major scam.
Major scam. If you go look at the holds, and by holds I mean commissions, they're absurd. They're of the highest. And the pros
15-20% that you have to pay for every dollar you put in. You get 85 cents back.
Yeah, and then not only that too is the pros set their lineup for every buy-in. It's just easy. They have the same lineups, and then they just buy in for whether it's $1 or $10,000.
Yeah.
So it attracts every pro. So there's just no meat on the bone, in my opinion.
And then Glock does the thing that we like best: season-long bets and against the spread.
That's what we like.
Those are the only two things we touch.
The only thing we like.
Other than,
I like season-long bets the best.
Yeah, me too.
Less variance on those.
Oh! No way.
What a play, Amari Cooper.
How did Jalen Mills not come down with this ball?
Oh, man. No wonder the Eagles were going to trade so much for Jalen Ramsey.
I remember my biggest gripe with Amari Cooper coming into the league was that he was always way too open in college. He never had to make one contested catch.
Yeah. So you didn't like his lack of experience as far as contested catches go.
Everything was he'd have 10 yards of separation on every catch.
Well, the Eagles don't suck. They're just losing this game. Everyone has bad games. This is one of theirs. Hey, Zitvono, how's it going?
We're doing well, Zed. How are you? Welcome
Zit.
to chat.
Oh, Jerry Jeudy, yeah. Jerry Judy's going to be a fun one. I saw high school highlights of Jerry Jeudy. They came on my YouTube feed.
Who is Jerry Jeudy?
He's I think he's for Alabama. He's a wide receiver.
Oh,
Oh yeah, they were. Yeah. Jerry Jeudy plays on Alabama. He's a junior.
Wide receiver?
Yeah, I've only seen his college stuff, high school stuff, ironically. He was I think he was a 5-star recruit. It came on my YouTube feed, and I watched a couple of them. He looked pretty good.
Mickey thinks...
he has a Blitnikoff award, too. Wow.
Really? How long has he been in college for? 1 year? Junior?
He's a junior.
Junior. Mickey thought the Amari trade was bad at first, but he thinks he was wrong now.
Yeah, I don't know. First round pick and high salary, I'm not sure. Just trade him to Oakland, first round pick. That's it.
And then who did they use in that pick? Have they used it yet?
Yeah, I think that was Jonathan Abram.
I would much rather have Abram than Amari Cooper.
As far as money goes, yeah, I could see that. I'm almost certain it was Jonathan Abram. I'm going to go look it up. Blitnikoff winner is pretty good.
I wouldn't want to be spending a top 5 pick on a receiver. That's just me.
Yeah, it was Jonathan Abram, was it?
If they lose to the Giants, who should Detroit take for the 2020 draft?
if they lose to the Giants.
I don't know if
Detroit Boss Lion is of such a jaded fan. I love it though.
Well,
that's my style too. I'm no different.
Lions fan. What do you expect?
Yeah, he is a Lions fan.
What do the Lions need the most?
What do the Lions need? I think he said it. Defensive line is it's a first round pick. You get D-line, O-line, and you're fine at quarterback. D-line, O-line. Yeah, did you take Zip Vono? Did you take the Eagles?
If I was Detroit, I think they should be targeting a pass rusher.
Yeah, absolutely.
That team is actually pretty good, top to bottom. The roster's not bad at all. The Hawkinson draft pick is looking very, very good. Maybe another guard would help them.
Yeah, I know guard would help. He said Glock said a new coach, and I'm not a Patricia fan. I got to be honest. Zivona took the Eagles.
Coach would be the biggest difference for
Polk
Detroit.
would be the biggest difference.
Coach and then defensive end.
What? How come you decide to go different out of curiosity? You're a pretty good handicapper, so I'm curious to see why you leaned in a different way.
Yeah, that was their biggest snafu, was the Arizona game to start the year.
Yeah, that was the worst coach game of the year between both teams. No one deserved to win, and they didn't.
Why pay Trey Flowers $8 billion? He isn't that good.
Sometimes for variety, I think. Yeah, I can understand that. Big Rye was branched out a lot this week. Big Rye bet against the market in pretty much every sports market. He was on college football, hockey, doing the works. Yeah. He did very well, by the way.
It's been a good week.
Yeah.
I'm getting more into the market stuff for all the leagues, so hopefully I'll have some more content for you guys on YouTube, and
we're gonna be doing some work on that. So we're starting to get more dialed into the market. So
Boss Line wants tackles on offense.
That would make sense to me. It's O-line, D-line, quarterback. It's really the only thing you get in the first round.
Stevie Wonder can see carry on in space. Yeah, Zid, I'm a big hockey fan. I don't follow it as closely as I used to, but still a big hockey fan. We're from Vancouver, so Canucks has been my team. I've been going to Canucks games since I was
you were young.
Since I was 1 year old. So you've been watching some of the hockey guys' videos. There's a lot of good hockey on the internet is very, very strong. It's got a really strong community.
Considering it's such a small fan base, it's bizarre, eh?
Well, it's funny because the analytics for hockey is like way further than football, but the gambling on football is way higher than it is on hockey.
Yeah.
Like you'd think it'd be the opposite, but
there's that famous Richard Epstein quote. There's one's at Vono, I think, and Mickey Hill would agree with. Gambling and statistical logic. I wrote it down because I was rereading some of my gambling books the other day. Let me find this quote. I really like it.
This is a question for the fat guy. Stros or Nationals?
I have a bunch of Nationals hats someone gave me, so I'll just say the Nationals.
I've been looking at the baseball lines, but there hasn't been a line juicy enough to bet.
So Richard Epstein in Gambling and Statistical Logic says, gambling remains a universal pastime. Perhaps more people with less knowledge succumb to its lure than any other sedentary avocation. I would completely agree. A lot of people don't know anything, and that's what they choose to do. I took a big hockey bet about 7 years ago, 8 years ago, and the guy lost, and he got mad, and he said, fat guys never tied up skates, which I don't think I have. And then someone else said, well, you guys didn't play hockey. You gambled on it, and he's been doing that since he was 3, and that's kind of true. So, yeah. No, I think I made my first bet when I was 7 at the racetrack. Been hooked ever since. Ooh, big bomb from Wentz. What a catch by Zach Ertz. All these Sunday nighters have been stinkers. Yeah. Oh, that'll absolutely happen, Zitvono. But to be honest, I'm kind of known where we live, so I get a lot of action from like people locally. But we do Pinnacle is where is generally where we make our bets. So.
You always hear about people saying that they get closed out.
It does happen.
I've never had one person personally tell me that. So I'm sure it does happen or it has happened.
You do your gaming on Pinnacle. Pinnacle doesn't really do that. They accept action from everybody, right?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I don't want to say I'm a bookie, but like I accept action from people around here, generally speaking. So. There's most bookies charge a larger commission too. They charge a 1.6. So a lot of bookie standard lines are minus 120. So probably because it's, obviously it's more profitable. But squares usually, like older squares are afraid of putting their money on the internet. They'd rather put it out on the street. So usually you can negotiate a minus 120. And the other thing too is when they're useless when they ask for games. They like, I want the, like someone texted me on Tuesday. I want the Eagles. Okay, so you have the Eagles, I have the Cowboys, not knowing that the line's Cowboys -3, and so instead I get a money line at even.
A 10%.
It's like such a
10%
huge,
EV
out of just nowhere. I didn't have to do anything. So I find that to be very standard. I mean, and then you could say, you're taking advantage, but I mean, if they don't know the price of something, that's not my fault. And when they win, they get paid. So it's as simple as that. I can't stand these commercials, man.
Well, I like what you said about getting guns off the streets because it's not a problem in Canada.
Yeah.
You know where there is a lot of shootings?
Where?
The Middle East.
Yeah, they should get the guns out of the desert.
Yeah. It would solve a lot of problems. That's
I'm sure it would.
All I know. I've been a little bit disappointed in the MLB lines. I've been kind of hoping that there'd be a play there, but
it's pretty square time, man. That line's probably close to equilibrium.
It's usually
the biggest.
Close to 50-50.
It's the World Series. Probably losing if you bet on either side.
Well, it's like Super Bowl. Sometimes the Super Bowl you get really, really nice, juicy lines.
Rarely.
I don't know. Last few years it's been pretty good.
Yeah.
Free Julio.
Well, what Patriots were? How big of favorites were they against Eagles? Because I remember I took the Eagles.
It was like
I took a lot of bets on actually. Every one of their dog bet the Patriots.
I think it was 5.5.
So I was actually exposed pretty big. I feel like it was more. Interception Cowboys.
I feel like it opened
Xavier
at
Woods.
6, but then got bet down.
Does anyone remember the Eagles Patriots Super Bowl line? I can't recall. Patriots 4.5. I feel like I think I was giving out 6.5 and people were taking it.
I think it opened at 6 and got bet down to 4.
Yeah, I was giving out 6.5.
Cowboys defense.
Tyler Weiss, I think it was 3.5. Yeah, it might have closed at 3.5. That's a lot of movement for a Super Bowl too.
Yeah, it might have opened at like 5 and gone down to 3.5.
Yeah, it might have.
Mickey Hill is remembering 2.5.
I don't think it was that low, but again, I looked at the internet. It says 4.5 on one of them.
Sounding like the Mandela effect.
Yeah, a little bit. Oh, this is my favorite bet because when people bet heads or tails at minus 105 on each side, literally throwing away almost 5%. Like they're just throwing it away. And who is it? Which friend do I have that does that? One of my friends does it, and when he's won like the last 3 years in a row, and he goes, "I told you, I know what's coming." I'm like, yeah, you sure do. Why don't you bet everything then? If you know, bet everything.
This week, Zip picked Houston, Minnesota, San Fran, New Orleans, Philly, and New England.
Yeah. I'm surprised at Zitfono. He's laying big points with San Francisco and New England. Or I'm just wouldn't have thought you would do that. Yeah. Yeah, that sounds about right. We were a little bit surprised about New Orleans The early movements just suggested the Bears were going to win that game, and they didn't. Minnesota, I didn't have a really strong inkling whether it was Minnesota or Detroit.
Well, that game opened at 0, and Minnesota got bet up to minus 2.5. It was a lot of heavy betting on Minnesota. The interesting thing about the New Orleans-Chicago game was that line opened at 3 and then moved up to Chicago minus 4 with less bettors on it. And then when Trubisky was announced, more people started betting the Bears, and then money started flowing in on New Orleans at plus 4.
Yeah, there's a lot of action on that. Said I've seen so many inflated lines that minus 10s actually seem reasonable. Yeah, it was weird. Well, like the Miami one, like the public was on Miami.
What would the line have to be for this Miami-Pittsburgh game for you to take the Dolphins?
For me?
Yeah, like where's the lowest you'd go? Like if it's Dolphins
14.
So at 13.5 you'd
13.5 I think I would. Oh, I don't know. I gotta think about that one. I guess I'll have to find out tomorrow, eh?
Well, I could find out right now.
Looks like Dak threw an interception. Why would they bother taking a shot downfield? I'd like to know that. What kind of game theory is this? Just run the ball.
Miami-Pittsburgh's the Monday night game next week.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, you can't lay more than 14. There's no way. 14 or more is too many. 13.5 is the lowest I could go there.
So next week,
if taking Pittsburgh, you know what though, Pittsburgh's D. I'm not gonna try and rationalize it, but Pittsburgh's D is more than capable of blowing that game out on their own.
Tomorrow stream is going to be New England at the Jets. Jets will be 10-point underdogs. And then next Sunday night it's going to be Green Bay at Kansas City without Mahomes. And then the Monday night game's Miami at Pittsburgh. And they don't even have either starting quarterback listed for Miami at Pittsburgh.
Well, they don't actually know.
But they have a line out.
Well, yeah, because I don't think it matters.
Good point.
If Devlin Hodges plays, is he really that much worse than Mason Rudolph? And and Fitzpatrick versus Rosen, whatever. Yeah, Pitt minus 16. I'm taking the Dolphins there.
The line I see right now is 14.5. Which is...
That's about where it is. I'm going to take the Dolphins, but that's about where it is.
Houston's on the road. Minnesota's on the road. San Fran's on the road. New Orleans on the road. Philly on the road. New England on the road. So, yeah, that's true. Hey, Tyler.
Tyler Weiss.
KC Green Bay game will be very competitive. Nobody is better with quarterbacks than Andy Reid.
Well, Matt Moore played well in that small sample against the Denver Broncos, but yeah, I mean, I think it'll be interesting. I think the worst unit, even with Matt Moore, is still the Kansas City's defense. They're worse than KC's offense, even with a backup quarterback. Andy Reid, his screenplays are legendary. Well, tell Devontae to get over a toe injury. Can't you just shoot your toe up with something? Get a needle and shoot it up with some numbing agent and just roll? Another bomb from Philadelphia. Just unable to connect with Aguilar. We haven't been paying too much attention to this game, I got to be honest, but it started off as a blowout. Dallas up 30-10 with 11 minutes left in the fourth quarter. That was a big pass. It's a bit of a backyard game. A lot of chucking.
Tyler Weiss said that Andy Reid got a second-round pick out of A.G. Feely, for crying out loud. And Reid makes all these running backs look good. Yeah, game-wise, calling the game, excellent on offense. Game strategy and managing a game and managing the clock.
Oh, no. Not
below
good.
Average. But I don't know. Andy Reid's been playing kind of uneasy since Mahomes.
There's a fumble, and it looks like the Cowboys got it.
Is that the fifth turnover?
Wow.
It's either four. It's four for sure. It might be 5 turnovers now for this Eagles offense.
Kerry Hyder. This looks like a rare bad snap from maybe the league's best center.
Oh,
we love that one, Mickey. That's our favorite. Andrew Ryad.
That video is
hilarious. He's like a 250-pound 11-year-old. Yeah, are we gonna get in trouble for putting it on?
Nah.
This is one of our favorite. Everyone, that's Andrew Reid or Andy Reid doing a punt pass kick competition as a kid. Look at the size of him.
Difference. I hope he could throw it farther than those kids behind him.
I like how that's probably the smartest kid out of the bunch too. Isn't that funny?
There you go. Andrew Ryad from Los Angeles, California. That's pretty good.
Didn't one of his sons get caught for cocaine trafficking, or both of them? I was always curious. Nice run by Elliott to bring it to third and short.
To
cut his toe off.
Yeah, and give it to Adams.
There you go.
Fat Guy's got the game audio, so I can't hear whatever you guys heard. The sound of Reed eating 3 triple-loaded bacon enchiladas? No. If that's a real thing, that's awesome. And if it's not, I want to hear it.
Oh, Andy Reid's oldest son had died of a heroin overdose. That's horrible.
Yeah.
Dak Prescott diving for the touchdown.
For some reason, I thought it was suicide. Or did he have two kids that
He has
have died?
3 kids.
And 2 of them died? Or are dead? Mickey Hill saying 1 died.
When he was the Eagles coach, it said Andy Reid's son went to jail, and the coach's home was a drug emporium, and questioned whether his adult son should live there. There isn't any structure that this court can depend on.
I like what Tyler said. I love when he comes through the wall as the Kool-Aid guy.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Hey, Mickey, is this good enough for you? Is this a good enough spread? 24 points up.
The tough thing is for second half bettors who took them -2.5. They're now down 9.5 points with no incentive to put up any more points in this game. Mickey's starting to feel more comfortable. That's good. That's nice. The Jets won.
The Winnipeg Jets won?
Yeah.
Nice. What line did you get it on it?
It was like minus 120.
That's not bad. Not that big a commission.
After this game, it's going to be like 1.8 units up for the day, which is nice.
That's great. That's fantastic.
Not even Garrett can F this up. This one kid might lose with Waller and Marvin Jones. This Eagles team shouldn't be favored in any game or half. This defense is horrific, and I'm an Eagles fan.
A little bit pessimistic here, but I can understand the sentiment.
A lot of people were on the Eagles tonight. 52% of bettors. The line actually closed at 2.5.
Interesting. Interesting.
Eagles about to make John Brown look like Randy Moss 2.0. Yeah, I'm actually surprised by the line at Buffalo. Buffalo 1.5 point favorites next week with Philly traveling there.
Eagles very inconsistent. I agree. They had a shaky week 1 game against Washington. They were down a lot.
If Brown has a prop like 75 receiving yards, you're going to smash the over. Not me. I knew they had no shot tonight. It's not just personnel, it's scheme.
Yeah. That's a great question. Inconsistent is a subjective term, though. So I don't know how I don't know how to, I don't know how I could quantify that. There'd have to be like more narrow parameters for me to look at data one way or another. I mean, if from a giant gut perspective, I would say that inconsistent teams are, they're times like prime time, and inconsistent teams are inconsistent under a microscope, I would say. So, I mean, prime time against better teams, when it's more noticeable, it's when it happens more often. But I mean, those are just sentiments from a gut perspective. I don't have any data to back it up. Wow, Dallas Goddard with a nice scamper there. Cowboys up 27 on the Eagles. This is pretty good. Yeah, I would miss Frank Reich too. Frank Reich was awesome. Frank Reich's turning out to be a better head coach than a coordinator. I'm a big Frank Reich fan. Forever, that game against Kansas City, which we watched pretty much together on stream, that was a big deal. That was a really well-coached game.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, exactly. Variance, too. That's such a thing. The weirdest thing about gambling is the results are, I don't know, don't really mean much in the short term. It's how you do long term. It's difficult, and a lot of parameters you make and theories you make are based on tiny samples, so it's hard to go off results. So that's why it's tough. It's tough. I'd prefer just letting the market do the handicapping and then trying to ascertain where to bet from there. Jump with the pros, go fade the Joes. Pretty simple. Eagles are driving, though. Here you go, and this is quick. I don't know about easy coach of the year, but I mean, so far, I would say so. Bill. Yeah, managing your bankroll is a big deal. Kyle Shanahan's going to be in the conversation just because they're undefeated. It's hard to deny that. I don't know. It depends how long Kyle Shanahan keeps this up Sean Lee violently pushing, who is it, Sanders to the ground. I agree, but Shanahan's undefeated. That's what people like, that kind of stuff. Undefeated speaks a lot more volumes to people. The message is received easier. Ooh. Missed 3rd and 4. Looks like Goddard tripped. 4th and 4. This is more or less the Eagles' ball game if they don't convert this. Oh, it was Ertz. Fourth and 4. He's got Howard. Oh! Lee almost intercepted it, but it'd probably be better if he didn't, to be honest. So, pass breakup by the immortally injured Sean Lee. Oh, there's an injury down for the Cowboys. Jeff Heath. Jeff Heath, I think, played the most snaps in the NFL last year because he played pretty much every defense and special team snap. Yeah. Sean Lee flossing with a bike chain. Surprised he didn't hurt himself on that one. I can't stand it, man. A hamstring injury. He came off the field, came back, and then before the snap decided, oh, my hamstring hurts, I'm going to take a knee. Then he missed 4 weeks. Get real. He played linebacker. It's like the most violent position, and you're going to go out with a hamstring injury that you could walk with anyways? Because he's a wimp. Sorry. Yeah, that is the most Cowboys doctor ever. Is that James Andrews, the doctor? Oh, yeah, if he'd done the surgery, that's Dr. James Andrews then, for sure. What a run. Well, Elliott, go down, Elliott. Now take the time off. He had to do a celebration to get a substitute. Come on now. Look at Dickerson's glasses. Those are badass. Dickerson had some serious nice Jerry curls. Prefer it over his bald head now. Pollard has been a nice spelling back. Not only this game, this year it feels like. In preseason he was a star. Looks like Brooke Shields is in the box, but maybe I'm mistaken. No, that's not her. Oh, Nick Saban said don't be results oriented to Jason Garrett. That's what they were highlighting in the broadcast. And I would say that as far as gambling, that's a very important thing. As long as you're making the right decisions, that is. Cowboys to punt. They did take a lot of time off the clock, which is, I would say, more valuable than scoring at this juncture. Oh, 35 is Boston Scott. Boston Scott looks tiny. What? Anyone notice that? That guy looks smaller than my leg. Not often you say that about a football player.
What position does Boston Scott play?
He's a running back.
What team? Dallas?
No, he's on the Eagles. He used to be on the Saints. Oh, he's only 5'6". No wonder. They say he's 203 pounds. I doubt it. I didn't even know he was active. And Boston Scott's going to get a carry, too. Looks like the Eagles are mailing it in. All right, Mickey, I think we got our cover. They're leaving Wentz in there, so it's 2 runs in a row for Boston Scott. This guy is tiny. You could fit him in a Chinese takeout dish. This guy is tiny. Yeah, I don't know. Him and Darren Sproles are the same size, it looks like. How tall is Darren Sproles? 5'6"? Five six. It says that he's 185, Sproles, on his wiki page, and Scott's 205. I don't believe it. These guys are tiny. Then you think about Derrick Henry plays the same position, essentially. Well, not essentially, he does, aside from with no kick returns. Holy. Derrick Henry would which, Big Rye? Be a good kick returner? I don't know about that, but it would be interesting. The gunner would get hurt on the opposing team. That guy, you could fit Derrick Henry in the guy's cup. They're already packing up the medical tent. They already took it apart.
They took apart the medical.
Yeah, they're doing it behind Garrett. You can clearly see. This has been all Boston Scott this drive. Oh, good for him getting out of bounds. He's going to get a little bit more face time. It's 4th down.
Derrick Henry. I haven't even seen. I only saw the first 3 words. It's already gold. Derrick Henry's hair looks like a turd sticking out of his helmet. Yeah,
it does. I always wondered too with guys with long hair, why give the opposing players a handle, like something to pull you down by? Remember the Jason Babb and Andre Ellington? He ripped out his cornrows or whatever. Those were awesome.
Oh yeah.
Jake Jacobs, a Tennessee native and fan, agrees, and I would say so as well.
So Lamar Jackson's on pace to have just under 1,300 rushing yards.
The over-under is what, 900?
I don't think it was even that much.
Or was it 800?
I think it was like 850. The Bungles 0-7. We've been on a lot of Bengals games against the spread too. It hasn't worked out very well.
Yeah, Ricky Williams. Ricky Williams is an interesting player. He was underwhelming and amazing at the same time. So, yeah, I wouldn't touch it either. Inside run by Boston Scott on 4th and 2. He's really relishing in his lone drive he's going to get this season.
It's good.
Heath is up in action. Probably because he took apart the medical tent he was lying in.
Steven Jackson, Marion Barber. I always like Marion Barber for
that game against Denver.
Yeah.
Against Denver, he ran out of bounds. Yeah.
Twice.
Yeah. Either one won the game for them, right? If he stayed in bounds.
Mm-hmm.
They lost too, right?
Mm-hmm.
That was the worst.
Well, it's similar to the Derek Carr rollout today where he, tried to go for the pylon. The second best thing that would have happened is he would have went out of bounds, stopped the clock, which was bad. And the third thing that could have happened was he could have fumbled out of the end zone,
which
is what he did. That play drove me nuts.
Derek Carr, I think, is a moron. Like, intelligence-wise, I don't think he's a smart guy.
The conversation between him and Jonathan Abram in Hard Knocks was pretty good.
Never watched Hard Knocks. Clapper gets a W, absolutely. We end on a low, a Boston Scott carry, 37-10 Dallas Cowboys victory. Yeah, the QB. I don't think he's a smart guy. I don't dislike him or anything. I don't find him to be a particularly bright guy. I could be completely wrong. Who knows? But
you hate how Derek Carr's bro acts like a holy Christian?
I don't know what FOH means. I'm pretty out of touch when it comes to internet communicating. I'm a laggard and everything.
Front of house.
Oh, in restaurants, yeah, front of house.
Or
I know that.
Out of here.
The Clapper.
What's the Clapper?
Who do you think are the smartest players in the NFL? They're generally quarterbacks, I would say. I mean, there's
O-linemen.
O-linemen are pretty smart. And even like, not that the Wonderlic is a good indicator necessarily for intelligence. It's a good indicator for logic abilities, and I feel like a lot of the quarterbacks, especially the ones that aren't exactly rooted in athleticism, have high Wonderlicks. Josh Allen has a high Wonderlic. Aaron Rodgers had a decent one. I'm curious how I would do on a Wonderlic. That's a test that I've historically done very well at. I would do that live on camera. I'd be curious.
It doesn't really matter what your brother says about you. If he says he's better than Ben, then sweet, but I don't think many would agree.
Yeah, lineman, D lineman, you don't have to be exactly a bright guy. You're just a dog chasing a car, but I mean, there is some nuance to it. There's nuance to all the positions, so.
I'll update the standings. We can look it over once and then maybe give your final thoughts on the game and end the stream.
Yeah, I would have loved to have played football. I was a big kid, so it would have probably worked out best for me, but I never did, unfortunately. Mind you, in the few backyard games that we had, it wasn't really fair. I remember carrying the pile like 6 or 7 guys, but I had 100 pounds on everyone, though. And none of them tackled low. They all went high like really stupidly.
Well, it's not like you're playing against.
No, I was playing the worst of the worst, and I was probably not very good either.
Well, we've got. Let me just refresh this for you guys.
You gonna pull it over there, Big Rye?
For overall, Setupal, I think a lot of the people up top picked up the win here. Setupal stays on top this week. Up 1 win over Mickey Hill. Mickey Hill's got 1 win over G for Fat Guy, Pick Lass, and us at 59 wins. And then there's actually a 2-win gap between us and East Steelers. And then Detroit 1 time. 1 game behind East Steelers.
All right, Glock, you enjoy. Take care.
Later, Glock.
What's Zitvono's percentage at right now?
What is Zitvono's... Is it K208?
No, it's Zitvono. He missed a couple weeks, so
right.
He or she could be a woman. I don't know.
Zitvono's 61.6.
45 and 28. What a home run!
Excellent.
It's pretty good. Is that the highest percentage?
There's probably some higher. I know Godfidence is 70%.
He never emailed back. I have his shirt too.
Yeah, only participated 2 weeks. And then
Yeah.
lost. Crooked Zebra's 26 and 14, good for 65.
That's pretty
The
good.
Geek
That's a cool
3,
name.
25 and 18.
25-18 is good.
Jay the Infamous is 18 and 9, good for 66%.
Zitvono identifies as male. All right then. You could be fluid. Who knows?
So that's
Someone's
overall.
at 71 at the bottom.
There's on the third page.
Small sample though.
Yeah, like go for the win, 78%, but only picked 1 week. All right, then let's go to week 7.
What's the percentage of our users are female? It's like 3% or something.
I'd say less.
Yeah, it seems like less.
I think only one person that comments is female.
Yeah, Crimea Rivers, Shannon.
So we have Pinkman with the 1-win lead over everybody. So if New England covers,
Dylan is close.
Dylan and Lou and Gay for Fat Guy, all 9 and 4. So if Dylan and G for Fat Guy manage to win,
Gay for Fat Guy.
There you go. They go for, if the Jets win, or sorry, if the Jets cover, they both have an over-under of 41. So if it's 41 to 44, it's going to be a spin for those two guys.
Yeah.
And then
if it's less than that, then we just spin anyways, though. We'll have a 4-way spin or a 5-way spin.
Yeah,
Price is Right rules, baby.
And then if it's 45,
I'm Bob Barker. You're the gay dude in the sequined outfit.
And then 45 and over, it'll be Lou. 28-1-1.
Yeah. Interesting
if
stuff.
New England covers, Pinkman's going to be 1 game above Mike.
I got to be honest. I'm rooting for either Dylan or Gay for Fat Guy. Gay for Fat Guy only because I know where he lives and I can drop the shirt off there and I don't have to ship it. So for, I guess, monetary reasons, I'm gambling on this. Yeah. However, though, Dylan would be a fun one.
It would be a fun one.
I like how Mickey's not going to win a week, but he's going to be in first at the end of this. He's going to come 4th or 5th. And then Dylan, and then this is the best part. Dylan will tell Mickey that he won a week and that Mickey didn't.
Whatever.
Because that's how Dylan works as far as arguments go.
You hook
which
on
is
to what
fine.
you can hook on to.
You anchor to what you do. Anchor to your strengths.
Yeah. The even if it is, Dylan still is a 50-50 with the gay for fat guy if that manages to pull out.
Not like Phillip Rivers. I don't think that guy does pull out.
The only thing that guy does is fill up women.
Oh yeah, I'm bigger now because I lean back. I'm very inconsistent when it comes to movement.
Yeah. Framing's not your thing.
Yeah, framing isn't my thing.
Crooked Zebra with a good week. One game back.
Pick one less game, yeah, which could be all the difference.
Yeah. Half Moon Picks, another YouTuber, had a good week. Tied with us at 8-5.
I think you did too. Or did you did we have to spin with you, Zitvono? I don't remember. Yeah, that's generally how it is. It's a very Murphy's Law type thing.
There's a lot of successful people this week. People did well. Like we have 21 out of 65 people were over 60%.
That's an incredibly good week. What are we at right now? 8-5?
Yeah.
That's a good week too.
We had an excellent week. Mickey Hill 7-6.
Oh yeah. It wasn't this year. No, it wasn't.
Oh,
Yeah, it was last year. Yeah. We were last year. It was just Big Rye had the idea literally like 10 minutes before the video, and then I don't know. I'm really glad that he did because at first I thought it was a really bad idea. I got to be honest, and now I think it's like my favorite part of the show.
Well, it's becoming the most engaging part of
it. It is the most engaging.
Yeah,
we didn't give out the T-shirts then. I got to put them on camera. I've been sending them in these McDonald's bags as a joke. And then one of the guys who won made his name Tears in a McDonald's bag, and I found that very funny.
Well, Miami will win the Super Bowl, who won last week. Was 5-8 this week. Wook Dog 5-8. I know he's got to be upset.
Yeah. It's not like him. 888 plays every week.
Yeah, rough week for 888.
It's a fun contest, though. I like this. This was good. We got to do something. So, are we gonna do a fathead of? You get a fat guy fathead if you win.
I got a quote for it. It's like just under $100.
That's not bad.
Yeah,
let's do it.
Like a life size one.
A life size. So we have to take a high. Let's get a real rough one where I'm super hungover or something terrible.
Yeah, we'll do whatever.
Terrible hair, which I have now, I think.
I don't know. Your hair was probably my favorite I've ever seen it
this
morning. Yeah.
Yeah, it was good when I woke up.
Well, yeah, when you woke up beside me and we looked into each other's eyes.
Well, technically, I'd be behind you if we were in the same boat.
Not after.
2 bears, 1 boat.
More like 1 bear, 2 boats.
It is interesting to see. I wonder if the picks on the show, how much they influence people's decision making. I feel like the people have changed and they take more dogs.
Stuart loves the hair.
Hey, Stewie! What's up, buddy? Are we going to play chess this week?
Stuart you have a chance at winning.
Stu, you're in line. You could win, buddy.
And you also brought it to Boyd.
Yeah.
Which was nice.
I do have a glorious mane. It's pretty good. My old man's his hair's getting a bit thinner, though.
Oh, Hassan and Wong. It's one call
He's in
away.
his 70s, though. Like, what? Who cares?
I do.
Yeah. Thanks, Stewie. Oh, I love Stewie. Stewie, let's play chess on Tuesday or Wednesday. By the way, Stewie's a very good chess player, everyone. I don't think out of our viewers, even out of the 5,000, he'd be hard-pressed to find a guy better than him.
And for reference, Stewie is gay for fat guy.
Yes. Are you Zitfono? Oh, we should get a matchup. It's Stu. I'm putting my last 6 paychecks. Stu, you don't have 6 paychecks. You only worked to last like 6 weeks, buddy. What's your ratings at Vono? Stu, what are you? Stuart, what are you, a 1900, 1950? Zit Vono might be better by that confidence, because usually Zit Vono is very humble, but maybe a bit confident. I'm gonna guess 2100 for Zit Vono. I'm around 1750, I would say. So I'm not nearly as good as Stuart is. So he usually beats me 3-1.
Lots of money's come in on the Jets.
Late money on the Jets, hey?
Yeah, like they, let's see. As of 1 p.m. today, they were at plus 105. It's gone all the way up to, sorry, I'm looking on the wrong side here. They were minus 116 today at 1 o'clock. It's already jumped up to minus 131. So it's looking like that line's going to move to 9.5. It's actually already past that point.
It is past that point when you consider that.
So Jets are looking like a good bet tomorrow. Only 33% of people are on the Jets right now. Straight up's going to be a little bit tougher.
Did Stewie beat you in fantasy?
Oh, yeah.
Stu dominated as usual.
Yep.
Pretty much like Mickey, for instance. Stewart is a bigger. He's a much higher rated player, so I'll get a lot more points if I beat him, and he'll get very few for beating me. That's just kind of how. That's the simplest way I could put it. I'm sure he could put it more eloquently than I can.
Here's a bit of an explanation if you can read it.
Did you start Valdez Scantling?
Yeah.
He had a good game.
Yeah, him and Waller put up really good numbers, and everybody else.
Prescott did okay.
Was above average.
I lost in that league again. I don't know how I'm 2-5.
San Francisco's D did well, but everybody else was performed below expected. I don't even know if this actually talks about. Here's ELO. It's the most common rating system.
I don't even know what it stands for. Or RPAD ELO. Big Rye works in marketing, and I have a part-time job, but I mostly deal in some sort of gambling. So, to be honest, Juan Alvarez, I don't know who you are, but 8-5. If you got that, that's very good. I don't know. By who you are, I meant.
What's your name in the contest?
Yeah, screen name. Beer and pizza. I could do for a few more funny names. Tears in a McDonald's bag is my favorite one. Captain Mia Farrow.
I think I could probably look here.
Control F at A.
I think Satuple.
Yeah. Oh, he's Satuple?
Yeah.
Oh,
you're in the lead.
Oh, you're number one, pal.
8-5, 61% this week.
Oh yeah, you're number one. All the big dogs are on the channel right now. I like it.
Yeah, it is good. Juan, you've been unreal.
You've been very good. Very, very good. Numero uno.
Yeah, numero uno for now. I know Boss Lion Detroit one time was disappointed. He had the top spot a few weeks ago. Down to 56 wins now. Juan, you're at 61. Mickey Hill at 60. Stu and I at 59. Yeah, and taking the lead. Content, to be honest, a lot of us are doing very, very well.
Yeah, this is a good year for everybody.
57, 56%, 54 too.
54 is fine. That's all making money. It's all cash and checks, all of it.
Everyone in the top 10 right now is making money, other than top 9, I should say. Dylan's 1 game away.
Yeah, Dylan's still not there. This is actually, I didn't think Dylan Toddfield would break 50%, I got to be honest.
He's doing well. He's probably coming around for some of the things that we talk about, other than I'm sure he still makes a few square picks because...
Well, he did take the Bills and stuff, and I know, obviously the Bills could have covered today, but I just think that's a pretty square pick. Like, I think in the long term that one's an obvious one. So there is that. But the thing is though, even if you make a terrible pick as he would put it, you're at worst 44% to hit it. So it's hard to tell. And maybe we're overrunning expectation right now. I don't think so career-wise, but for this contest, you have to pick every game. It's pretty tough.
Yeah.
You know what, too? A lot of the lines, too, is we pick the best line for what we're going to pick because we have to pick so early. It's only fair. So a lot of people can piggyback on that, too.
Well, it's nice to be able to get those early lines and be able to pick. Like, if you pick on Thursday, it's a pretty big advantage.
Yeah, if you do pick on Thursday, it is a big advantage. But it is what it is.
Yeah, I could make another filter that has people that have played every game.
Yeah. Zidvona would be in first for the... Oh, close to for like the sample above 3 weeks.
Crimea Rivers, if you faded her.
Yeah, I'm not even joking. I've considered that. What's the max games? 104?
105. All right, guys, we're going to call it a stream.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, this is always fun. We'll be doing this tomorrow as well.
Yeah, we'll be back on, and then we got the picks video Monday night, and we're still bouncing ideas around. I know you guys have given us some ideas on what to do for upcoming videos, including power rankings, making our
No, not net
bets.
wins, no.
Sorry,
I was responding to him and I cut you off incidentally. Sorry.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough to know where to draw the line, right, for net wins.
Hey, do you want to do it on Thursday? I'm free Thursday. See you, Mickey.
Yeah, let's do it Thursday.
Let's do it Thursday too.
So we'll be live streaming Thursday too. If you guys want, come join us.
We'll have the game on. We'll talk some trash. Hopefully Dylan wins so he can tell us how bad we are.
Even Thursday night, it's Washington at Minnesota. Minnesota's 16-point favorites right now. It's just some of these games are just crazy.
Well, people would call them terrible games, and they could probably be right. But hey, let's take the dog. Let's take the dog and roll with it. We got to look obviously a bit closer, but
it's looking like a dog play. There's lots of the next 3 out of the next 4 are double-digit underdogs for primetime games that we're going to be streaming on. And then the next Sunday night, Green Bay at Kansas City. Green Bay's 3-point favorites on the road. But a little preview for the viewers at home. 83% of bettors are on Green Bay early.
Interesting.
So
I see you, Hobgoblin. I see you. All right. What's
going on, Sam? All right, guys.
All right, we're going to take off.
Night. We'll see you later.
We'll see you guys later.
Don't be scared. Lay the chalk next week, guys. Actually, yeah. I kind of want to do a video.
What?
Remember the idea that we hype up all the favorites and then pick the other team?
Well, because
I think we should do it.
Or maybe one week we should just go square so that like the majority of our audience will be happy, but then our regulars will know the inside joke.
Yeah.
Like, hey, laying 20, I'd lay 35. This is a slam dunk guarantee.
This is the 5-star gold lock.
5-star gold lock, cannot lose.
Everybody send us $1,000 for this pick.
Yeah. My favorite was in that movie, Two for the Money, when it was about sports betting, and the guy's like reading the paper for information. It made me like choke laughing every time.
That's awesome.
Yeah, as if it has anything to do with I'm gonna glean this information out of the newspaper that's gonna make me pick the right winner. Jesus.
And don't forget, guys, I always say this is the most important thing you can know about betting sports.